As we had last left it off, the party, making their way inside the ruins of Greyhelm, venturing forth, encountering several creatures along the way, stumbled across a room made of mechanical gears with an unknown form of technology at play. Pressing some random buttons from Lisma's part seemed to do something. It activated a gateway which called forth a gigantic metal dragon. It began screeching out in an unknown dialect that had to be picked up with a combination of comprehend languages and tongues, to which it asked for a master code passphrase. You did not know this, and then it shifted into a defensive mode and attacked you. Working together, you were able to bring this metallic dragon down. And you came across the gateway that it came out of. On some investigation, you realize that it is in fact something of a travel connecting system within Greyhelm. It seemed to connect you to all the major areas. Cycling through which areas were available, you selected the one that showed you a large palace. On your quest to find another key, Hallen Key, you theorize that this probably is better place as any within Greyhelm that might hold this key, and you ventured forth. So, you currently stand in exactly the same room as you had just came out of, but there is no metallic dragon body here. There's no signs of visible damage to the area. And the only real structural difference that you can see is that instead of having an exit to this room on the west wall, it is now, to your best knowledge, on the northern wall.
The dragon thing came out of this door, didn't it, originally?
It did, yes.
So I could assume that not each location has its own guardian. There is one guardian that goes to where it's needed, and that we have defeated it.
That might be a logical assumption.
Perfectly safe. Happy days. That's what I like to see. So I'm now completely relaxed and fine.
Yeah,
Sure, that won't hurt me
I'm
at all.
just gonna draw my sword ready just in case.
That shows a remarkable lack of confidence in my assessment of the situation, Lisma.
I'm a little
All right.
confused, but also Kristen's confused. We're back to the beginning?
No, this
Well,
room
it
just
is-
looks identical. Is I think what
Okay.
Jack's trying to say. So we are
But-
somewhere else, but it looks like we're in the same
Okay.
place, but with the doorway on the opposite side of the wall.
I was not prepared for Zorzath again. Thank you very much.
I took the liberty of creating a new player field map for you to show you your path at the moment.
Yay! So a new blank sheet.
In the way.
Aha.
So if we're in relative safety, looking at the character sheet, I don't think we rested or anything. Do we?
No, you have not rested yet.
Do we want to rest?
yeah, I think that'd be a good idea. Just in case, like that dragon was pretty. Whatever that thing was pretty tough. Like, I think if we come across anything closer to that, maybe even stronger stuff, it'd be good to have a rest before.
I agree. That was much more than we were expecting. I'm glad we
Plus,
got through
also,
it, but
when was the last time we ate? I'm quite hungry.
you're
You
always
know-
hungry.
You
What?
are always hungry, but I have something I can do. I mean, it's not. I know you like meat a lot, but
I'm not going to eat your arm. That's just too much.
no, not if you really needed to. I would.
Cora, do not give him your arm or
Hey,
anyone your arm.
But wait, I can just wait a second. I can do this, and
Maybe
I'm
when it
going
gets to
to.
that point, we may have to start eating body parts, but
I'm
I don't
going
think
to
we're
close.
quite at that.
I'm going to close my eyes, and I'm going to kind of put my hands down on the ground, bend down at the knees, and as I close my eyes, this gold energy is going to sink out of my hands and into the ground, and out from the ground are going to be these little like spectral chipmunks and little woodland creatures, and they're going to start cooking meals.
We can't eat ghosts.
And so I'm casting create food and water, and there are little woodland chefs. They're creating food and water for us.
It's awesome.
You see one little squirrel go up to a little squirrel with two little spectral bits of bread, put it to the two bread in between its head, and just go, "Well, Andor, I'm an idiot sandwich chef."
Wow, the culture these things have.
Are the serving sizes supposed to be this small? Cora?
You don't eat
mean, I
my
don't-
animals. No, they're cooking food. Just like
But-
give them 5 more
but they're-
minutes.
But their pans, they're really small, and their pots are small.
Joe Prix,
like-
as a wizard, you literally should know more about magic than this. Just wait. They'll make it bigger. It's fine. Also, you could have little tiny foods too. Some people call them amuse-bouche. Like it's just a little taste for the mouth. Forget it.
I think many people call them a waste of time in many places I've seen.
Direct
This is the
translation.
last time Cora casts create food and water. For the rest of you, you can all starve to death.
Just
Mm-hmm.
thank you very much for the lovely food created by your lovely woodland creatures. But they do look
Kristen's
quite tasty.
temper will
If
go
only they
over.
weren't
Don't
spirit-like.
Don't eat.
Well, I don't think
If
we
you
can.
eat
They're like
them-
they don't look very corporeal, but they
That's
look
true, but
tasty.
If they were, they don't even look tasty. Like, but also if you ate them, they wouldn't be able to cook you food next time. Just
Can you not make more? I mean, when my slaves die, I just get more.
oh.
I mean, some people do eat squirrel if they have to, like we were talking about body parts. You have to see the inherent kind
but
of, comedy in the situation.
It's.
I would
okay.
definitely eat a squirrel before I ate Cora's arm.
Breezy does look at the squirrels quite hungrily.
Breezy, you can't eat my squirrels, but they can make you something. What you eat a lot of meat, right? Mostly meat.
Yes.
Okay, well,
Preferably
not-
still alive.
oh well, I can't help you with that, but I can make you food that'll make it so you don't die. I don't want you to die, Breezy.
Neither do I.
So we'll get you some food. Don't worry.
Breezy will reluctantly eat what you put in front of her, but she like a child, she selectively avoids anything green or wheaty. Like she's given a chicken sandwich, she'll literally take the bread apart and just eat the chicken itself.
Oh, Breezy,
Seems
but
perfectly
see,
reasonable.
I don't eat meat, so you can have my meat, and I'll have your vegetables and greens.
Whoa.
This trade is acceptable.
No, it's not. I wanted her meat.
I created
Wait, I was calling dibs.
45 pounds of food, guys. I'm pretty sure that you got enough meat.
Cool. I can have 20 pounds of meat then.
All right. Did you guys want to set up a watch for tonight or for the next? And I assuming you're long resting. Is that correct?
I think so. I think that's a plan. It's been a
Right.
long day. We travelled to the side of the mountain, maybe, or we could be next door. I have no idea.
I can ritual cast Liamon's tiny hut if we want, although we may not need it.
I mean, the tiny hut is always a sensible idea, I feel.
Did we level up? Am I remembering that, or am I?
Yeah,
We
you
did
leveled up at
indeed.
the end of last session. Yeah.
Which is why I've got no idea what my HP is, which is why a long rest is really good, because Roll20 resets it when you level up, which is really helpful.
Okay. All right. So, for the sake of brevity, I've already rolled. No matter what you guys do tonight, it's actually the next 8 hours. It's actually a relatively quiet session. It's a bit spooky, and you get a sense of like nothing well, anything could be out there in the darkness, listening or watching, but ultimately it is a quiet rest. It's up to you guys whether or not anybody wanted to roleplay with each other during that rest.
Pretty knackered. I'd probably not like even with doing a watch. I'd probably not talk too much. I'd probably just be there maintaining my gear, like getting it all back to shape after the battle.
Lisman would help you. Well, sorry, Zurich will assist you on that one. His gear got a little bit of a pounding as well.
Cool. I'd also say to anyone else if they need anything maintaining. I've got blacksmith training, so I can help you do anything you need.
I prefer to just not get hit in the first place. That works better for me.
I agree, but sometimes it can't be avoided.
I think Cora got hit pretty hard, didn't she?
Yeah. Can you fix chainmail?
Yeah. Would I have the tools to fix chainmail? I'm sure I'd be able to.
It's not more of a case of fixing, more of a case of, just relinking any loose chains.
Yeah.
If there's like any significant damage, you'll need an actual like forge and like an actual workstation to do that beyond the simple
Yeah, I've got-
equipment that you have on you.
I got smith tools. I'm sure I got pliers or something equivalent to do
Yeah.
it. So yeah, I'm sure. I can do that for you. I'm not sure if it'll be as good as it was, but I can definitely make it better.
Okay, thank you. My hands are kind of big for those tiny links. I appreciate it.
Whereas Lisma
Yeah.
has little girly hands. I don't know if he does, but that's now canon because you can fix chainmail.
Listen, Cora just has big hands.
So I'm this big 6'5" guy with tiny hands.
Okay. Actually, after your long rest is concluded, you are all refreshed. You've attended to the wounds that you obtained. Your chainmail is looking a little better, Cora. And you are up and all ready for whatever today is going to bring. So, what would you guys like to do?
Guys, I guess the only way is forward.
I mean, yeah, if we're going to be exploring, let's go, I guess.
Alrighty then.
Cora, before we leave, is just going to
Fuck.
take a second and pray to her gods, and she's been including Ata in that.
So I have 2 spells.
I don't really know if we're on the right track. I feel like we are though, and I just wanted to take a second and thank you for your guidance. This is a pretty scary place in here, and we've lost a couple people so far, but I know that you're protecting us and keeping us safe, and I just wanted to tell you how grateful I am to let my body continue to do work for you. And that's it. I don't think she's really asking for anything right now. She just feels like she's been asking and wants to express gratitude.
Okay. So, as you guys proceed onwards, you are once again found with a corridor similar to what you originally walked down in the last mechanical room that you went towards, in which the stone corridors are laced with a bluish-like energy, a ley line of life, sort of shimmers and dots and guides people through these corridors. It looks like this particular path goes onwards and upwards, or probably about 70-80 feet or so. And it seems to split off to the left and to the right.
To the left, to the left. Roll a d20, odds left, evens right.
Is there anything that differentiates
Make a
one way
perception
versus
check.
The direction in which they go.
roll 20 hates me?
Oh,
Perception.
it's not working well for me.
It's very slow.
It looks like the pathway to the left veers off kind of a diagonal direction after about 30 feet or so, and the one to the right goes on for about another 60 feet before taking another hard left.
I mean, if you really wanted to check it out a little more thoroughly, you could send McGonagall one way and he can send Caleb the other way.
That seems fair. McGonagall has been having a far too easy ride living in my pocket. But I
Yeah,
felt really
stop being
bad
a
when you turned to
freeloader,
stone.
McGonagall.
I mean, I
Keyleth
did
is
turn to stone recently. I still feel bad.
Oh, that was great.
Cora's going to take a little bit of extra food. I don't know what McGonagall eats. She assumes meat, so she's going to give him a little bit of the extra meat.
At this point, rotten meat.
It lasts for 24 hours. It's not rotten.
No, but is Vorkus dragon, pseudo dragon? Do you think he's going to feed him?
Oh, the
It's
He's
a
pseudo
zombie.
dragon eats rotten meat? Oh.
Yeah, I'll send him left if you want to send. If you want to go right.
Absolutely.
Roger, Roger. Right, McGonagall, head down there. Just for like a couple of minutes. See what you can see. If you see anyone, stay out of sight.
Alright.
Go.
Same thing, Keyleth.
So McGonagall flies off down to the left. And you send your other fine familiar out the right, Gobrix. Right. So they off fly, and then takes a hard left. Wait a couple of minutes, and they return. And they perch them. Your fine familiar perches itself down on your arm, Joprix. McGonagall comes up onto your shoulder, Chris.
Hello, mate. What did you see? Ah, good.
What did you see, Keyleth?
Assume your fine familiar is an owl, right?
Yes.
So it says who. It responds in owl.
I thought we could talk to our familiars in
Yeah.
telepathy.
I don't think I've never been able to. I don't think telepathy's a part of it.
I'm just
Yeah, you're
reading it
supposed
now.
to be able to communicate with your familiar.
Yeah, I think it is. I'd imagine it would
Is it
be.
only in like simple messages or imagery or something like that?
Yeah, I don't think it's
Probably
like anything
would.
complicated, but he'd be able to
Okay.
tell us if there was anything dangerous
Yeah.
there. I think.
All right. So, in your mind, Vorkris, you see a bridge that goes on for a little while, but below that bridge, you can see multiple layers of caverns, maybe a bit of a mining place, like outcroppings in a large chasm sort of thing. You don't see a bottom. Your one, Joprix, you see images of a long corridor that stretches onwards and onwards and onwards until eventually you can see there's a bit of a crossing off to the right, and then the corridor also continues onwards, and that's when he span around and went the other way and came back.
So, mining or corridors? I think check out the mining thing, see if there's anything useful there. Maybe they're mining some really expensive gems and jewels, and there's just piles of them there.
Intriguing.
Ooh, that could be helpful. Need some gems.
I mean, they must have been getting the metal to build all those cogs and metal dragon thing that attacked us and everything else that they built around here, so there must be some infrastructure going on.
Did he?
Well, yeah, I just say I've been getting as much. If we can get some treasure and then eventually go back to Fasters, we'd be able to get a lot of information that we need.
I don't
Or
trust that Frost.
lose a
At
lot
the
of treasure.
mention of Rasters, Cora's purple fur has like a reddish undertone to it.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
Yeah, what he said.
Yeah, kind of what he said. But more importantly, did the McGonagall and Caliph
Keyleth.
actually see any people, or was it just empty?
Looks empty so far.
So,
Well-
direction you guys are going to go?
I think probably the mine.
I vote left.
I think I agree. We can always go back.
Exactly. Like all we saw was a mine. I couldn't see the bottom of it, but it didn't look like. So yours obviously a corridor that goes on, so we can check out the mine and then turn right. That seems sensible to me.
Me as well.
All right. So you guys turn left and proceed onwards. It veers off into a bit of a diagonal direction. You walk for about a minute or so, and so eventually you open up into a much larger chasm area, and now you can see multiple platforms, wooden, mechanical in nature, are just abandoned. Half of them have fallen off their beams of their ropes just from decay. The other half edged into the sides of the chasm itself. You can see scattered up and down multiple platforms, balconies with small little doors on them. I want those of you who are proficient in it to make a history check, please.
Silence
This
is
does not
golden.
bode well.
I'm still
History? I
trying to
can't remember
update
what happened an
history.
hour
Yep.
ago.
I'm not proficient in history.
Okay.
Cora and Xeric are not.
Okay.
I
Well.
have the intelligence to be good, but I am not proficient. History is just that's what other people did.
All right then. So in place of that, I would like the wizards to make an intelligence check, please. Who did we lose? Liam.
Oh,
Another-
no idea why I'm at advantage. Sorry.
Another question: does the mechanical stuff look like the cart that we travelled down from the room?
Looks like it was
bef-
made. Looks like it was the stuff that you went to. It looks like it was So to get to that room, the materials used looked a little bit more advanced. This one looks just like straight up, what you'd find in some place like maybe back home or something like that. It's a little advanced, but nothing that sort of blows your mind, sort of thing. Like platforms that extend up and down thanks to a pulley system and wheels.
Right. Okay.
Vorkris, looking at these various buildings, and there are dozens and dozens of like balconies and doors. They're dwellings. This is you're likely going into a residential area.
Yeah, people lived here at some point. I've no idea if they still do. I can't see anyone about, so probably not. But we could go and find out. Maybe they've got a lovely exit from this place. Guess I'll start approaching some of the dwellings.
Well, they're off the bridge. They're like embedded in the chasm wall themselves because you're on a bridge that goes onwards towards a set of double stone doors.
It doesn't look like there's an easy way down into the chasm.
They're accessible, but you'd have to get there creatively.
I mean, there's always an easy way down from any height.
Yes, but not necessarily a safe way down.
Well, you didn't specify that. Head for the big double doors, I guess.
All right then. So, proceeding onwards, get to the large stone doors, and they are a little ajar. You can try to push them open even more if you want, so you can sort of all fit through as a group. But as it is right now, you can all sort of just go in one by one, sort of like sideways, and just, especially with Cora, just sort of sucking your belly in a little.
Yeah, I just try and squeeze through if there's enough room for me.
Yeah, no problem. When you get onto the other side, you can see buildings, similar architecture to maybe a much more smaller, condensed version of what you saw in the water stills. Inverted buildings built into the actual rocks themselves, and this one is a lot more less. So it's not. This one's not open. There are winding corridors in the rocks. You can see now there's a wide open cavern overhead, but it looks like you're basically in the middle of a hill maze, if you want to call it a maze. So you can see that there's no ceiling that connects overhead. You can go up and probably get a good look of the immediate area around you. But if you proceed on the path, it will go into sort of just follow a street, shall we say.
I think I'd let McGonagall fly above me just to try and get an overarching view of how all these streets work. And
Right.
just every now and then I'll just flick into his mind and see through his eyes so I can work out where we are.
Can McGonagall make a perception check, please?
He can when Roll20 wakes up.
Ah,
Oh, he has proficiency. Go! Nah, that didn't help.
So the best you're able to decipher is that somebody can definitely get lost in here unless they had a map of the area and they knew where they were going. If there were signs still in these streets and one could read them, possibly you could locate where things are, landmarks and like, and discern it. The one thing that McGonagall definitely notices, far off into the distance, like, and we're talking a ways away, very at the far end of the cavern, there's a large etch of sunlight shining through the top of the mountain, shining down what appears to be a giant structure, a city within a city, a walled fortress, a palace built out of the side of the mountain itself. It's a ring-layered system.
Well, the
At the very
palace is
top.
why we picked this door. So I guess we try and make our way towards it, but it's very confusing, these streets, and McGonagall isn't much help.
you're able to tell how far away the light source is?
The light source
Or the
is
opening?
probably coming from a fissure in the mountain itself, and probably stretches or encompasses has to be at least a mile of gap within the mountain itself. And what McGonagall is viewing is quite literally dozens upon dozens of square miles. And the only reason you can even see this city illuminated is because this fissure of sunlight is shining down and illuminating it within the dark cavern.
I think we have a direction then, right?
That
Well, I
also
mean,
reminds me,
an overall one.
moving into these corridors, those blue ley lines, they stopped and they stopped at the bridge and they shot off into multiple directions. They did not follow you into this area, and so those of you without dark vision are having a lot of difficulty seeing anything at the moment.
Can I cast light?
Yeah, I'll probably cast light as well.
Boom, boom. So multiple sources of light shine up, so you're all able to see the way.
I was about to, and then I just see them do it. I won't bother then.
It
Save
makes
magic.
sense for the two people who can't see to try and make themselves see, though.
Be natural, yeah.
Probably lit up a torch.
You can see ahead of you. This natural path through the streets progresses onwards for about another 50 feet or so, with multiple houses to your left, or not houses, but like entrances into dwellings, sort of on your left and right. Now, the street goes upwards, and then one darts off, sort of kind of like a northeastward direction. And the other one just goes straight left and heads westwards. And then just on the cusp of that threshold, that corner, you can see one door a little bit bigger than the others inside the dwelling. And you'll easily be able to notice that inside is the flicker of light, firelight, coming from the gaps underneath the door.
Can I send Keyleth over to try and look? I don't know if it's close enough that I can work into Keyleth.
Yeah.
But I don't know if there's any other openings in the structure that she may be able to peer through.
I want her to make a perception check, please. Or actually, no, this will be an investigation check.
It could be those bastards again that we haven't seen for a while.
Yeah, it could be. Investigation, I am not proficient in.
Can I give you? Oh, Keyleth is making an investigation check.
Yeah.
Obviously too late, but for future, could Cora guide either Magana, like give guidance to Maganagus or Keyleth?
Yeah, so long as you touch them specifically.
All right, good to know. Thank you.
What's the final score on that, Joe Pricks?
It'd actually be a 9 because if it's investigation.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's got a -4.
I see.
Oh,
So she has a look around. If she can't determine if any of the gaps in the rocks belong to different dwellings or not, there's no other sources of light coming from the windows. It's just coming from underneath this door.
I would call her back then. I didn't really get a lot out of Keyleth. Obviously, there's light coming from underneath. It looks like firelight. Can't see that there are any other openings, but we may want to stealth through that area.
I mean, I think we should get closer and see who's there. If it is those bloody order people, I want to know about it before they sneak up behind us.
Well, that's what I mean. I mean, whether or not we want to try and I think we got to be quiet about it. So
I will happily be a sneaky sneak.
Those of you who want to go forward, go ahead and make a stealth roll, please.
Oh, I miss Vanas.
If I decide that I'm being too noisy, can I be like, I clearly don't belong on this mission? Like I attempt to stealth, and then I'm like,
No, this is you moving up and attempting to not make as much noise as possible. So you would probably have gotten about a quarter of the way there before you realised that you made some noise. So you'd be like, "This isn't working the way I want it to." So either way, either way, your position would be made.
sorry.
Yeah, I think if we start making loads of noise up there, like towards that, probably just call out. You in the hut. Who's there?
yeah, we are not sneaky at it.
I mean, we tried. We failed. We can
Definitely
pretend we never tried to be sneaky at all.
There's no initial answer.
Well, we're gonna come up. So if you're not friendly, please let us know, and then we won't come up. I guess we'll just keep moving forward.
I'm wondering if this is a trap to try and get someone near the area.
This is possible.
What do you mean if they're
Um,
not friendly? Let us know. Like, of course they're not going to let us know.
We could
Why
maybe-
not? I tell
But
everyone
you
that I'm
let-
not friendly.
we could
That's because
send-
you're not friendly.
Well, exactly.
And it is-
So if they're not friendly,
and
they
it
should let us know.
And it is this argument that ruins your stealth.
Yes.
What? Not the terrible rolls.
As you get closer and closer towards this door of the dwelling, it opens up. You can see something you would definitely not expecting to see. Jessica, would you like to describe what your character looks like, please?
So I am a very tiny gnome, like smaller than average gnome size, with blonde hair that is piled messily on top of my head and held in place with like sticks and feathers and things. I'm wearing a green kind of tunic, which is covered in pouches over top of some just plain brown leggings and brown leather boots. And I'm currently fiercely debating with the person that I'm sat with about some random nonsense.
Behind this person, you see another individual. Brian, would you like to describe what your character looks like?
Yeah, so this is a man, late 20s, not particularly tall or small, just average height. Thin, looks very tired. Coat is it's a well styled. It's a stylish coat, but obviously quite old. And he looks a lot cleaner than he has any right to be in this sort of environment. Yeah, dark hair, kind of weird colored yellowish eyes.
Okay. So,
Did-
Uruk, whilst you and Joy Lee were resting, eating on some rations, your passive perception picked up 4 individuals approaching.
How did they detect
Sorry,
us?
five individuals, even. And not too long after that, you hear them call out, and you were naturally wary at first, considering how you got here. You've never heard or seen any creatures actually communicate in the way that they're communicating in common. Or your initial thought was those that sent you here. You told Joya Lee to be on guard. Ready? And Joya Lee, as friendly as she is, after hearing that the people approaching intended to be friendly, went out to meet them, intending to be friendly herself. So, as you guys step out, you see the most curious collection of people standing there. You see 4 humans, a black dragonborn, and a purple furry red-headed individual? Maybe a Fearbulk, but they're mega rare.
And a harpy probably too, right?
Oh yeah, and the harpy behind them as well. There's a purple-skinned, bloodied mouth harpy behind her with like long bird-like legs and sort of a bobbed, messy, wild brown hair. It looks like her wings are heavily burned and are currently undergoing recovery.
Would you be able to settle an argument between us? Are we in Greyhelm?
Just
What
because
are
it's
you
the most
speaking-
likely place that they teleported us to doesn't mean it's actually the place they teleported us to.
All the stylistic elements are the same as that. Well, not all of them, obviously, but quite a few similar to the door.
I mean, it could just be that this is like an ongoing civilization thing.
Or
Okay.
it could
I
be
mean,
that
there's
this
not
is
much
this is
civilization
Greyhelm.
left. Don't ruin it so
Right.
soon.
Okay.
Cora just screams out in Gnomish, "You're in home!"
Yes, you are not a gnome.
Well, I mean, it's complicated. I'm not, but my mom was. And if you're friendly, I'm really excited to see you. And if you're not friendly, it's gonna be a really sad day for me. So I hope that you're friendly.
I mean, there's like 5 of you and 2 of us, so I think we're friendly.
Oh, that doesn't mean that you're friendly, though.
It
That
hasn't
just means
stopped
that you're
anything else we've met
outnumbered.
in this bloody place.
True.
No, we're friendly, possibly friendly. Are you guys with the Order?
The New Order?
That's
I
Are
Yeah.
you with the
suspiciously-
order?
Are you with the order?
Again, there are 5 of you and 2 of us, so I feel like you should answer this first.
Well,
If
not
it goes
with
with the order, I
Zurich-
can have little
Zurich
mysterious
looks
powers.
offended.
Don't need-
Zurich looks offended he's being ignored.
Oh, sorry. Xerix says, "I'm from an order, not the New Order. They're a bunch of little bitches."
Yes, we are definitely not with the New Order.
Yeah.
The only
New Order.
affiliation we have with the New Order is when they captured us and tried to sacrifice us for their weird, spooky magic rituals.
That sounds like them. There is a group of them here somewhere, as in Greyhelm somewhere, but we haven't seen them since we first got in.
What do you mean that sounds like them? Borkris, that could also be you.
I don't sacrifice anyone. I just don't let dead bodies go to waste. They're already dead by the time I get my use out of them.
Did you meet Varys? Or Dargon? Or who?
They
I'm gonna-
didn't introduce themselves to their sacrifice victims.
Well,
I
that's
mean,
just rude.
You didn't
Varric, the person
hear?
who was in charge of the sacrifice, as it were, or the ritual, was a woman scientist by the name of Anderson. She was backed up by Muscle, a man in the name of MacGyver, and where is it?
Did they have like name badges or?
Yeah, well, it's not name badges, but the people around them kind of addressed them by the name, and you wrote with your observance skill, you were easily able to pick them up. But yeah, Anderson seemed to be the person in charge of the place. She was backed up by an individual named MacGyver and Sawyer. They were basically her muscle in the place. But with your observantness, you would be able to know that she did report to another individual who basically kept themselves inside their tent most of the time, so you never really saw it. But you are aware of the name Varys.
Can I just bring attention to the word observantness? I don't think that's a word.
I was like, where are we going?
Is there any
You
confusion
wonder-
over what it would mean if
you
it was a
understand
word?
it, though.
Because if
Right,
not,
right,
it can be a word.
The grammar police are here.
So did
Observantness. There we go.
It's a
did
difficult one to say as well.
Did is it, how do you say your name? Baruch?
Baruch.
Baruch. Did you express all of that you know those people? Those are the names that you.
Well, obviously you've asked for this Varys, which I mean I'd say he sounds. I've heard of him, but I haven't seen
Yes,
him there.
you know of a Varys from the main branch of your family. You know of a Varys Ravensloft, but
Right. Yeah, but he wasn't there. No, none of these other people you mentioned, I think, were there.
Well, there were some New Order people here. There was this really creepy guy named Sneed. He's running around here somewhere, and that woman who doesn't know what she's doing that got us all into this mess.
I think
Anderson.
her name was. Yes.
Yep,
Yes.
and then Sawyer was trying to take after the
He was the ranger, right? So
right. He was
Yeah.
trying to look after the plains runners.
So
They're
they
all
got
around
in.
here.
Sorry, was that Brooke?
So Anderson and Sawyer, you said. So they got in.
Yeah, Anderson, Sawyer, and MacGyver are the names you're aware of.
Yeah, no, I got. Sorry, I was responding to the party here, saying that
No
you heard of Anderson inside here around.
No worries.
So yeah, like so they did get in then. I wonder how.
Well, I'm more interested in how you went from being sacrifices to being here in a little hut, not answering when strangers walk up and yell up, "Are you friendly?"
Well,
I'm also wondering how we got from sacrifices to being here in this hut.
yeah. So we were going to be sacrifices, and then there was a big magic hullabaloo, and then next thing you know, we're in here. Just wandering around, trying to figure out how to get out.
A big magic hullabaloo.
Yeah.
That doesn't seem very descriptive.
I don't know about magic things. It just went wrong, I guess.
Well, I mean, all right, if you were going to be sacrifices and you're now here. Or were they casting it went wrong their end? Okay. That
Yes.
sounds like a new order too. They're fucking useless.
They
We're
were
only
trying
here
to like.
because they
So,
couldn't get in.
so were you guys?
Individual in the New Order who attempts to cast things that they've never casted before. It'll go wrong, but they're assuming it's going to go right the entire time.
Yeah. Did he then get reassigned to gaining entrance to Greyhelm?
So, how did you? Well, not so much how did you get it. Do you know how to get out of here again?
Not so much. I mean, we kind of stumbled in here, ran away from a giant undead dragon thing, and we've been wandering around aimlessly ever since.
Well, my plan is to keep going forward until we're out.
Our new friend Breezy she's been helping. She kind of knows the way, but she's never been there before, so she's leading us, but she doesn't really know exactly. She knows the general directions, and then sometimes we get.
I think that
carried
ship might have sailed when we teleported to somewhere in Greyhelm. Breezy,
know,
do you have any idea? In fact, I don't speak to Breezy because I haven't got tongues. Ask Breezy if she's got a clue where we are now. I've got a feeling the answer's no.
Okay, hold on. Do.
You expend a spell slot to cast tongues.
Breezy,
Yeah.
do you recognize this place?
I have never been here. This place is unknown to me.
She doesn't know.
Oh,
Yeah.
great.
I mean,
Can we just circle back? Giant undead dragon?
yeah, that's
Yeah.
fairly normal, isn't it?
Is that a problem? You
Not
guys
as
are
bad as that
dealing with?
mechanical dragon.
It will be a problem if we run into it again, but we haven't seen it since we ran past it to get in here. It couldn't fit
Yeah.
its head through the little door, so that's why we ran in. But now we're kind of trapped.
But were you guys there when Anderson was trying to do that spell with the thing?
I mean, I don't know. But so I think they were trying to use us as like a magical battering ram to get the doors down, and then that didn't work. And then we were in here, and we've been in here ever since. And it's kind of dark in here, and I'm not really sure how long we've been in here. So
Wait, so they strapped you to a thing and was using your head to bash this thing?
Magical battering ram. You know that thing you keep trying to do, Lisma? It's not as straightforward as just hitting it with a head.
I mean, Baruch and Jolie, you theorize you've been in here for a long time, definitely longer than a week, maybe 2 weeks, maybe 3. It's hard to tell.
Oh, so before we even got to the door, then.
Well, if you have been in here, well, if that was less than 3 weeks ago, then that would be a logical conclusion to draw from this.
Yeah, I think it's only 4 or 5 days we've been in here. I think. Ish.
Take care.
so do you guys have any food?
Well, Core's little slaves made some this morning.
They're not slaves. They're my friends.
Do you pay them?
We don't say.
I don't get. Did you pay me for food?
No, you're my slave. The world exists to serve me. Do they not? I mean, everyone keeps doing it.
I only met you today. I don't think I exist to serve you.
Vorkus, go and
But
stand in the corner.
if
Go
I
and
ask you
stand in the
very
corner away from the new people. Go on. Go on. Go and stand in the new corner.
Cora
So-
tries to be a big girl, but she's got some tears coming out of her eyes because she doesn't appreciate being spoken to like that. Chris, I thought that I was getting through to you, but
The moment
I'll
that
help you, but I'm
Joy
not your slave. And so Cora's gonna because she sees a gnome, she had done all that work on trying to stretch up to her full height, but seeing the gnome just instantly, like Pavlovian response, gets her to hunch down again. And so she hunches down and she comes over to Joya Lee. Joya,
Yeah.
is that how you say it?
Joy Lee,
Lee first. I have this. I don't know if you prefer meat or vegetables or what, but here. And then she's going to look over at your companion. Are you hungry too?
The moment that Joy Lee noticed that Cora was crying, she just came over to hug her leg and be like, "Don't cry, everything's okay. You don't have to be anyone's slave." And then she very happily takes some of the vegetables because she's been trapped in a dark hole for 3 weeks and their fresh vegetable rations have run out a long time ago.
It's been biscuits and crackers now.
Yeah. Very dry, horrible jerky.
I'm sorry, Cora. You're not really my slave. It was just a joke. Just. But the
No,
magical
we're
creations.
We're shunning you. Shun. Go and stand in the corner.
So if you two are being used as a magical battering ram, does this mean you guys can use magic?
Yes, kind of. Mine's not like a learning magic, it's a naturey kind of magic though, so I don't really know how it all, well, I kind of know how it works, because I went to a school for it, but then they kicked me out, and so I kind of don't know how it works, but I do know how it works, and I can do some things.
Wait, can you make a hat like this? And I'm going to take out of my pouch a hat that was crafted out of autumn leaves for when I lost all of my hair. My druid friend crafted me this little beret type cap. Can you make a hat like this?
No. Sorry.
Oh.
I never really managed to get the hang of the more creative sides of things.
But
if it breaks, I can fix it. I can fix things.
Can you talk to plants?
I don't think so.
I
Not
mean,
yet.
they can. Anyone can talk to plants.
I mean,
Okay,
yeah,
I'll try again.
yes, I can definitely talk to plants.
Can you listen and hear them talk back to you? We're animals?
I can. I mean, sometimes, but it takes a lot of power. But I can
turn into a wolf.
I can turn into a wolf. I can definitely do that. I can heal people. And I can make Barnwell be massive. And as she says that, a tarantula, she kind of reaches into her hair and pulls out a spider.
Kristen puts on a brave face.
And then puts him back into the giant mess that is her hair.
The spider lives in your hair?
The spider lives in my hair. Barnaby lives in my hair.
Does that tickle?
I have a lot of hair.
Okay. That's Vorkus's entire questions.
I can make people stronger, bigger. I can do a bit of healing. I can see a little bit of the future sometimes, and I can fix things.
They all sound like very useful talents.
Also do some magic. I don't know if everyone they used could do some magic. It might be what they used us for. But again, I didn't ask.
God's sake, 2 more magic users and being annoyed with a war cloth and then just trying to cast some magic in his hand.
Lismer! I
Yes?
know what will make you feel better.
What?
Let's arm wrestle.
Sure. Let's go for it.
Throw the match, Cora.
Huh?
Do you throw the match?
I want it. So she can't because she doesn't.
Both of you make athletics checks then. You do not have disadvantage, Lismer. So yeah, you're able to... You beat Cora in an arm wrestle.
Well,
Don't
at least
you feel
I'm
better?
strong. It'd be nice to have a bit of magic. Strength isn't everything that I've learned since being here. And it's been very frustrating.
Listen, Lismer, I know you can't do magic. You're trying, and you're getting there, but you're probably getting there. But that doesn't mean that what you bring to our group isn't worthwhile. Don't feel bad about what you can do because we can't do what you can do.
We're all different, and that's okay.
Meanwhile,
I-
Zurich is off in the corner practicing booming blade to keep his skills sharp.
So I'll ask Joyly and Baruch.
Baruch.
Have you been anywhere else? There's a big glowy thing over there that we're thinking about checking out. But have you investigated? Have you looked anywhere?
So you guys have tried to investigate this large palace-like structure, but there is an unpossible kind of. Basically, you can get across the bridge up until the to the main entrance of the city itself, but there is a lock on there that you have not been able to unlock or discern. It appears to require a very specific key. The inscriptions that you both saw on it, especially with your abilities, Baruch, you know that the key to get inside this place is being guarded by. Sorry, let me just grab her name. Slithering Stillness.
We've
Ask
tried.
Breezy if she's ever heard of Slithering Stillness.
We've
Didn't we
tried.
get a key?
Um,
The
Breezy,
key in something with slithering stillness.
Breezy, do you know anything about slithering stillness?
Have her do it. I'm gonna have her do a history check.
Can I guide her?
Yeah,
Will
sure.
she let me touch her?
I mean, she'll hiss at you, but 18.
Just imagine guidance or remembrance like would be a whack on the head rather than
Breezy just goes.
I have heard of this. The matriarch. She once told of a slithering stillness. She was a bastion against or for the people of old. She warned to never go to where it lairs, lest you spend all eternity there. She guards secrets. Secrets that are best left secrets.
Did she tell you where Charlaire is?
No, none of my brood never ventured that far. But if this one speaks of it, then I know that we are far to the southeast of this mountain.
Yeah. Well,
That's where we are or where we were.
We found ourselves in the south west of the mountain. As far as I know, this place is, if the slithering stillness is here, is as far away from southwest as it can be.
That would be northeast.
We're still south.
Hmm.
So based off this, that thing when we were going into the matriarch's lair and Vorkris, was it you that went down into the water and there was this slimy thing? That's not Cora
no, it
Witcher.
was
That's not it.
Zurich that went down into water, I think.
Xeric went down.
But I mean, that was in the harpy's domainy bit.
Yeah.
So if
Right.
that was where the slithering thing was, they'd probably know where it was.
Yeah. So, southwest and the southeast are, whilst they may still both be in the south, think of it like corners in a square. They are far away from each other.
And I'm not entirely sure how tongues work. Can the rest of us understand?
No,
Lucy as well.
Cora has to translate.
Right. Okay. Cool.
When Cora speaks, we can all understand her, including Breezy.
Right. Fabulous.
But we can't hear Breezy. We can hear her, but not understand her.
Yeah. And to you, Joyalia and Baruch, Breezy, this harpy individual, just sounds like. Very,
But it's really weird because she understands common really well, but only when Cora says it. I'm not really confused because I don't understand how magic works, but it still looks weird.
Just takes a little getting used to.
Maybe it's an accent thing. Maybe Cora just has the right accent.
Sure.
So, are you guys the kind of people that hear, slithering stillness, bad things, and go, yippee, let's go?
I mean, not always, but when we find out that it's guarding the big shiny palace that may or may not have something useful inside, well, you got to do what you got to do.
I want to know what happened here. We'll have to go inside.
I just want to get out, really, but I'm not gonna go heading off on my own. So, I guess we're poking around if you'll have us.
I mean, the more the merrier. There's certainly plenty of dangers in these little caves and tunnels. If there's more of us, that's a better chance of survival. I like those odds.
Yeah, hopefully we can
feel
help
like-
you.
Not that he's terribly good at it, but I feel like Xeric would want to make an insight check
Yeah.
on these guys.
Yeah. Baruch and Joyalia, I want you both to make persuasion rolls because you've not been decepting at all. This is basically just to see whether or not Xeric can see through your charisma to get a good sort of. Basically, it's depending on how well he can sort of get a measure of your character beyond the social graces you put up.
He's doing a vibe check.
So interesting.
So Xeric would keep an observant eye on these two. All in all, he feels like they're not being dishonest. They're on the up and up. Looks like they're just genuinely grateful that there's somebody else here who they can speak with and who isn't trying to kill them.
Definitely.
So, with a partnership / alliance made, Joyalia and Baruch deciding to work together against the dangers of Greyhelm and to possibly locate the lair of the slithering stillness. What would you guys like to do? So as it stands right now, you currently have, following the streets, you can currently go in two directions. You can turn sort of in a northeast direction, or you can continue heading west.
Which way would it be towards the castle thing? Would that be west?
Towards the palace. That would actually that would be northwest. Yes. So to get there, it's more of a north direction. So basically, any direction you take towards the north will get you towards the gigantic bridge that connects this this residential area towards the palace.
And that is where we have been and seen the inscriptions. And...
Yes.
Right.
You also know that there are dozens upon dozens of pathways you could have taken. You've literally just been wandering around for a long time. So.
Okay.
Can we, Baruch? Can we rely on your limited knowledge of the area? You obviously know this area a little better than we do.
Well, bits of it that we've seen. But really, we should be looking for this slithering stillness. I would say so. If we have any leads as to where they might be.
I mean, maybe we should just head to this barrier ourselves and maybe go from there.
Yeah,
Like,
happy with that.
you'd think if there's a guardian that's got the key to the magic barrier that it would be somewhere near the magic barrier, because otherwise, why would you just if the key's on the other side of the mountain, that just seems daft. So we can use that as a starting point. If there's other tunnels and things up there, we can have a proper look round and see what we can see.
There may be a fake rock right near the door.
Ah, like, did we check the plant pot? See if there's like a key underneath it.
I don't remember seeing a welcome mat for us to have looked underneath.
Well, that's just rude. How are we supposed to feel welcomed if they haven't put a mat out?
Exactly. All the more
Right.
reason to find out what's going on in there. Let's yeah, so what do you
Jack,
think, Jack?
with my
Go ahead.
other ability that I talked to you about earlier today, would I have seen anything there? Any sort of keys hidden behind it? I wouldn't imagine so, but
No, with your abilities, you'll be able to discern any false services or anything like that. And with the added benefit of the fact that you had some time to truly investigate the place, you couldn't find any fake or false bottoms or anything like that. Nothing that looks like it would be hidden through physical means.
no, it looks pretty solid over there. But feel free to have a look. More eyes are better.
Onwards,
Well, I don't
I
mind.
guess.
I always say more eyes are better, and then I bring up Bartleby and everybody gets freaked out, and I don't really understand it.
I'm not freaked out by his existence, just that he lives in your hair. Just seems like there'd be easier way to transport him.
Well, my hair is pretty soft and pretty padded, and he's got less likely to get squished. It's actually pretty sensible if you think about it.
But what if someone pats you on the head and accidentally squishes Barnaby?
Nobody pats me on the head, and even if he did, I don't think you understand truly how much hair I have up here.
It's like 80% hair, 20% head.
Yeah.
Wow.
You don't realize how useful hair can be sometimes for us.
I mean, I'll stick with my scales, thanks. I don't see daggers bouncing off hair.
If daggers are getting close enough that they're coming near my hair, something somewhere has gone horribly wrong.
Well, if you're going to be coming around with us, there's a good chance weapons will be being thrown at you from time to time.
Nervous giggle.
I mean, so far, nothing serious has happened apart from... I mean, two of our friends did fall down a ravine and we're assuming they're dead. We haven't seen them since then. But other than that, nothing bad's happened.
Okay, well, thanks for plunging me back into depression. Appreciate it.
Sorry.
Joyly just reaches out and pats Cora on the knee, comfortingly.
I appreciate that.
Breezy does
That's why
say
they
to you,
call it a temp.
he says,
But we want to be careful with that. Any sign of weakness is a signal to other creatures saying you wish to be eaten.
Why is crying a weakness?
Because it is weak.
Feeling your emotions and expressing them is one of the bravest and truest things that you can do.
And that is why you will be eaten.
I don't think so.
There is no sadness in this mountain. Only strong and survival and death.
All I heard was there's no crying in baseball, and I couldn't listen from there out. Cora just shakes her head.
There is no participation medals to be had here.
I don't know what that means, but you know how you don't eat meat? I mean, I don't eat meat and you eat meat. I think this is just one of those things that is going to be like that for us.
One of those things where the harpy's right and you're wrong.
You know what, Chris?
I can't hear it. I just thought I'd jump in.
Mm-hmm. You have to put Kristen away.
But for the record, if she wants to talk about strength, just ask her how many of our harpy friends died when we came to visit their home.
She wouldn't do that to her.
Then cast tongues on me.
There's a reason she didn't cast tongues on you.
But I'm such a friendly, diplomatic person. I get along with everyone.
Ah, those are the words I would use to describe you.
So, Breezy will look at these two new individuals and say to you, Cora,
Do not know them, and yet you will let them travel with you. They are not conquered like I was. How can you trust them?
Oh, don't worry, I won't let them eat you. And I'm gonna look at Joy, who I'm fairly confident would not eat the harpy anyway. And Baruch, although judging by your picture, you look like you might eat a harpy. I don't know, but she's gonna look
He
at
looks
both
far
of
too
you
clean to eat a harpy. Eating a harpy sounds messy, and that guy is pristine.
We are not gonna eat Breezy. I think she's a little nervous about that. We're not going to eat her. And I know that like, have you guys encountered any of the harpies in here?
"Oh, you haven't."
Nope.
Oh, well,
No
there were a
harpies.
bunch. There are not so many anymore. But Breezy, like, you know, she gave us a chance and we gave her a chance. So now she's traveling along with us and she's a little nervous because we don't know you and we're accepting you along. And just don't eat her, okay?
Breezy, in her mind, will be like, I'm not going to eat you. In her sort of.
And
Breezy, what's wrong?
she tries to fly away, but she just can't handle it because there's no wings on her arms, so she like flaps with like these chicken wings sort of things.
Someone!
Breezy. Whoa, Breezy. What's wrong?
This place is unnatural. Voices in the darkness.
What did you
Sorry.
hear?
A voice said it meant no harm. Not natural.
Joya Lee, who recognizes Baruch's I'm talking in somebody's mind face, and then the subsequent freak out is just stood with her head in her hands, like, why?
I can't speak to her, but like this, you'll understand me.
I don't know how many times I have to tell you nobody likes hearing strange voices in their head.
Was it you? Were you talking? Breezy, it's okay. It was just him because he can't speak to you like I can. He thought that maybe he could talk to you in your head, and he just wanted to make sure that you knew that he wasn't going to eat you because that's what I just told them, not to eat you. I told him that you didn't
Ask
trust them.
first.
Oh, you have to ask. Excuse me, sorry. Could you just if you're going to talk into her head again, could you just ask first and then I'll ask her and then I guess.
Can we agree on a sign? Also, it's only one way.
Oh. It's only one way, Breezy, so you can't talk back, but like could he give you a sign? Like maybe this or
Baruch, I want you to make a persuasion roll.
Meanwhile, Cora's just coming up with signs like this. Maybe if he puts his finger on his forehead and does this. Uh-oh.
We're off to a great start.
There's an unnatural presence about Baruch that throws Breezy off, and she just looks at Baruch and what you're saying, Cora, and just go,
No. No.
like, just slowly backs away and tries to stay over by Vorkris.
Wow. She must be scared. Oh, disconcerted. She thinks I'm a safe place.
It's
Man who burned her wings off.
I think the moral of the story is he's not going to eat you, and yeah, we'll try and if he has something to say to you, I'll ask him to just tell me. From a role playing standpoint for me, not being a fan of undead is Baruch giving off some vibes that would be unsettling to Cora.
No, this is completely alien in nature.
Okay.
He's not mine.
All right then. She's a work in progress. We all are, but I think that really just kind of triggered her. There are a lot of weird things here, but I think she does appreciate the sentiment. But I'll just relay messages from now on. But that's pretty cool that you can talk in people's head.
That's fine. Well, it's really a lot of the times the only way I've been communicating with anything around here at all until you guys came along.
But they can't talk back to you.
No, but if they can write, we can make it work.
And I've got this fancy thing that I can do too. So
That's good. Good.
Okay. So, with the two new companions in tow, you start making a beeline towards the palace.
Jack,
Yeah?
I was just wondering, with regards to Breezy's wings, is that something that Joya Lee would know that a greater restoration would help with?
No, this is more of a case of it's not really it's an injury she suffered beyond what a simple cure wounds. A greater restoration might like advance the progress along, but this is more of a case of like they will naturally grow back over time.
Okay.
Sort of thing. And if you did
me a lot
heal her right
to-
now, she would probably bugger off straight away.
Yeah.
It took me a lot to convince
Whereas
her
she's so much
to
use
let
here.
me heal her.
All right. Oh. If you want to make a beeline directly for the palace, then what I'll do is for Baruch and Joya Lee, I will give you the best directions to get there from what you are aware of, but I won't take you there, basically. All right. So, you guys will proceed on the northeast passageway or the street. Continue going by a few houses and dwellings. After about 10 minutes or so, you come to a much wider street. And here you can see the remains of decrepit old wagons. You can even see a few skeletons of beasts of burden. Not horses, but I swear you could see a few skeletons of those boulettes that you met previously. Just scattered here and there. Not a whole lot of them, but they've just been left there.
Do any of them look humanoid at all?
Make an investigation check.
I was hoping you just going to say no.
Well, I'm just like missing out on my my undead army.
You can find some that look very similar to a skeletal structure of the abandoned.
They will do nicely. I will cast. If you don't mind, guys, I just need to spend like 10 minutes. No, 1 minute. Well, it's like, but think how useful they are. If we're worried about traps, we can send a skeleton over there. That's much better than not sending a skeleton and sending, Lisma or something. Lisma might get hurt.
Hyperventilates in a corner.
Look, you
I would
got
walk
used to
with
Wenos.
the
Just think of them.
skeleton.
Just think of these as Wenos.
I didn't get used to Wenos.
Well,
Very
get used to
often not
Wenos.
here.
All right. So, over the course of a minute, you guys can see green, misty-like energy emanating from Vorkris as he starts muttering unholy, arcane ritual that honestly sends shivers up your spine, Cora, and you, Joyelia. This is not natural for you in any sense of the form. For
Okay,
Baruch,
I use Mage Hand to just cover Cora's eyes.
unfortunately, Mage Hand is invisible.
Cora closes her eyes anyway.
I think Jolie would possibly kind of like shuffle closer to Cora again, like
Yeah.
not quite hiding behind her, but certainly ready to hide behind her.
They're not gonna hurt you. They're fine.
I know that it's almost happened several times, so I'll just say that Xeric has this pet mouse that he's almost given Cora a couple times to try and comfort her. Her name is Lydia, so he'll say, "Here, just hold on to Lydia for me for a bit. I think she'll make you feel better." And Cora will be like, she immediately get distracted with the little mouse.
So Baruch, what Vorkris is doing is fascinating from a scientific standpoint. Like, this is not a natural source of magic that you're familiar with. You can definitely tell it's not the sort of magic you'd see in the old world legally. However, after a minute, one of the skeletons of these
Two of the skeletons.
two of the skeletons of the abandoned things that have just been left begin to rise. And they just stand there obediently, staring at you, Vorkris.
Okay, my first instruction is try not to scare the rest of the party, who apparently don't like skeletons and things, but they can be useful. I'm sure everyone knows they can be useful. Okay, guys, follow me.
I don't mind. It just never gets old when you do it.
Yeah, like I felt a little bit naked without them. I mean, Wenos died all the way outside. It's the first chance I've had since we got in here.
Sorry.
Welcome back, Jack.
I mean, those ones in particular. You remember when we had to fight them in that place and those crystals and
Well,
all
here's
this
two
bad.
that you definitely won't have to fight.
It's still a little hard.
Well, they're made of bone, of course they are.
And Baruch, of these things have risen and are walking. They look very similar to creatures you have seen in this area that skulk in the shadows and move in small groups of hunting packs, if they were. But the ones you've seen are a lot less skeleton and a lot more decayed corpse.
These look better.
As a side note, when they started moving again, Jolie kind of like climbed up onto Baruch's shoulders and is now sat on his shoulders.
Now you're almost as tall as
Cora
Vorkris.
smiles but wells up a little bit because she remembers doing that for Carrie.
But no, I promise they're not going to hurt you. They're just going to be helpful to have around. You never know when a couple of skeletons might come in handy.
Okay, so I'm just gonna ignore him. But
Okay.
while you were doing that, I was thinking, you remember Baron Bark? We were talking to him, when we were there, and he said that there was a point in the north, but also in the west, because I'd been thinking about that one because, that's where the furballs are. But there's a point in the north that he said he had heard that it was a physical barrier, but it's only an enchantment, and that it's something that stops people from crossing, but he wasn't sure what that is. I don't know if that's here.
Do you think that's what's on this bridge? And that if we just try really hard, we can walk through it?
I don't know, because, he said that Breezy said that there was a key. If there's a key, certainly maybe I don't know. I've been thinking a lot about different things, and I just thought it was worth mentioning.
This
you
is
can
fair.
dream it. You can do it.
Okay, well, let's go to the barrier and see if that's true.
Alright. So, from where you're standing on this high street, or this like main thoroughfare, you can head west, you can head east, or you can go into a smaller street directly north of you. So you're basically literally at a crossroads. The best way that Joy Lee and Baruch know is to head west. Sorry, no, sorry. Yes, west for about an hour or so, and then head north.
I relay this to the party.
If that's the route they know, I think we should stick with that for now. We could explore properly at some point, but if we're just trying to get to there and they know a way there, it seems foolish to try and get lost now. So yes, we will follow your directions.
Okay. So is Baruch and Joy Lee taking points on this?
Taking points. What do you mean with that?
As in, will you
in
be
the front,
leading?
walking in the
Yeah,
front.
you'll be up in front leading the group.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think I would be behind Joyaline, but
all right. Can I get both of you to roll perception checks for me, please?
yeah. So Joyaline and me perception. We get that thing. That'll be in that one, I guess.
Sorry, I had to pop away for a second. What did I miss? Am I rolling something?
Yes, you're taking points or walking down this main thoroughfare of Greyhelm.
Brilliant.
Can I get
Perception.
a perception, please? Yes.
Oh. Perception.
Hey. Joy Lee, you have a keen eyesight in this place. And you keep your senses about you. You move down this long street and you proceed onwards for about an hour. And honestly, you see dozens of turns off into alleyways or the like. But the party will see precisely 4 main streets that go 2 to the north and 2 to the south. It is on the third part, sort of cropping that goes northwards that Joy Lee and Baruch will say it's this way. So you can, I'm assuming, unless anybody has any objections, you would continue down that path and start heading northwards. It's right around this point, after about 10 minutes after making that crossing, Joy Lee, that you hear, or sorry, no, you don't hear, but you see up ahead of you a group of those things. Probably about half a dozen or so. Their sunken grey skin, their pointed ears, their eyeless sockets, and their 4-fingered claw-like hands. You can see they're about half a dozen of you. They're about 100 feet ahead of you, but they haven't noticed you. It looks like they're just currently surveying the area, skulking it, if anything.
Doralee immediately throws her arms out in like a halt gesture. Pulling on Burke's hair, but just before she does to get him to stop.
Ratatouille style.
Yeah. and kind of like, there's bad things up ahead. How do you want to handle this? We'll follow your lead.
How many bad things?
Half a dozen?
I mean, that doesn't sound too threatening. There's like a million of us now. Counting apparently isn't Vorkus's strong suit.
I mean, yeah, like we can go for it. I just didn't want to like. I feel it'd be a bit remiss of me to just let you guys wander off into a pack of things.
Oh, we definitely appreciate the warning. But I think if there's a half a dozen, if they decide to be violent against us, I think we can defend ourselves relatively well.
Well, then we can carry on ahead.
This always seems to happen to us. You have to understand.
I
Trouble does
honestly
seem to find us.
I don't know how I
Right.
feel.
I am going
about
to
these
move towards the back of the party as we head towards the things.
All right.
Is fighting not your thing?
Not physical, no.
I must admit, I do prefer to be far away, but I feel I can do a lot more damage when I'm close. It's very frustrating.
If far away is what you prefer, I have things that can help people stop getting close.
Yeah, but when they get close, I can do extra damage. I can even suck some of their life force out and heal myself.
Ah, I see.
But I do have to be next to them, which isn't exactly my favourite place to be. Luckily, as I mentioned, my scales deflect a few things.
Yeah, that's good then.
So,
If all else fails, I've got a bit of healing as well, so you know.
That will probably be very beneficial in a party such as ours.
so as you guys proceed onwards, when you get maybe about 60 feet away, those of you without dark vision now can clearly see these creatures, and you instantly recognize them as the abandoned. They, since you're not making any efforts to stealth, they see you. Like, as soon as they notice you, they immediately start charging at you. You can see two of them like jump onto the sides of the walls, like clawing their way along the walls vertically. Two of them are just sort of sprinting at you from the ground. One of them is at the back, and it just looks like he puts his hands together, and you can see some incantations coming out of them.
Cora, have you
far
still got
away.
tongues?
Yeah, I do. I was just going to channel my divinity, but if you would like me to try and talk to them,
I mean,
Oh, you have about 10 seconds before they're on you. What are you going to do?
I'm happy to murder away, but I felt you'd be upset.
okay, nope. She's going to channel divinity because I think that's what her reaction is right now. So channel divinity. How far away? Because I know I only have a certain radius.
Um, they are moving at full speed. They're about 60. Yeah, they're about 50, 60 feet away from you.
Okay, so I'll wait until they're within that 30 foot range of me, and then
Okay.
I'll just say, "Baravan, protect us!"
All right.
And so
They need to make is it wisdom saving throws?
Yep.
All right. So it'll be 5 wisdom saving throws. 3, 4, and 5.
My spell save DC is 17, so only one of them
All right.
passes.
So the two on the walls and two on the ground, as they're getting within you, you can see this divine light shine and pulsate from Cora. As it washes over their bodies, they immediately sort of stop in their tracks, go, and they are bursted away. You can see them literally melt ash and bone, and they collapse to the ground. One of them is able just to take cover behind an overturned cart, and immediately bound up overwards as the pulse in the sheet finishes and continues charging towards you. It doesn't appear to be aware of its own mortality. So that's what Cora's done. There's one of them still coming towards you, and one of them in the back still incanting. What did the rest of you do in that as part of that reaction?
I want to prepare a counter spell for the one that looks like it's casting a spell.
Okay. Well, counterspell is beyond your range at the moment because it's was it a 60 feet range? Because I believe
Yeah,
that guy's
that's far
about
away.
120 feet away or so.
Oh, what? You mean the range of Firebolt? Firebolt.
Make an attack roll.
Ah, Ah, well.
12. 12 does not hit. The firebolt just goes straight past his head, barely missing him, and explodes in the back scene.
Corva, tell him that was a warning shot.
That was a warning shot.
Well, it is not part of the reaction. So we still got reactions from Jopix, Lisma, Joya Lee, Baruk, and Agnes.
So can I make an attack as well?
Yep, who would you like to attack?
Well, also the one in the back who's trying to do magic.
Okie dokie. What would you like to attack him with?
Eldritch Blast.
That's then.
That's
Make an
two
attack
separate
roll.
attack rolls, isn't it?
Yep, that's right. Go make 2 attack rolls, please. That's a hit. And that's another hit. Roll damage.
Right. Do I just click the damage bit on the?
Yeah, click Eldritch Blast on the chat, and that will roll the damage for you.
I just click it in here. On the chat.
So
Oh,
where
right.
the 20 and the 20... Yeah, there we go. 5.
5.
So 10 points of force.
Is that including the my charisma bonus already?
Yes, yeah,
That is
yeah,
on there,
yeah.
yes.
So, yeah.
You just rolled
so
two
you
ones.
rolled, yeah, you rolled,
I rolled
2 ones,
two ones.
unfortunately.
Right.
Yeah, unfortunately. But as you
If you hover your mouse
blast,
over it, it will show you. Sorry.
as you blast into it, these small bluish-like energy bolts, you can blow off part of the flesh, exposing the rib cage and a strange assortment of fleshy organs within, as it's blasted 20 feet backwards and crashes into a wall. Because you do have repelling blast, don't you?
I do. Yes.
Yeah. So it's blasted 20 feet backwards, hits a wall. It's still alive, and it continues to try to do its incantation. So it is now 160 feet away from you. No, 140 feet away from you.
40, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So I still got Joy Lee, Agnes, and Lisma, and Joe Briggs.
Can I use my reaction to just kind of move into position? Not making attacks.
Yes. So you just want to move ahead? Is that right?
Yeah, move towards the one that's closer to the one that's underneath the cart.
Okay. Well, he's out in the open, still coming towards you guys. So.
I take my rapier out and go towards him.
All right. So you're able to get up to him because you two are going to meet very quickly.
Jolie is gonna jump off of Barak's shoulders, head towards the front of the party, and turn into a direwolf.
A massive. Would you like to describe what your dire wolf actually looks like, please, Jolie?
It's a bit. So she's actually, again, for a direwolf, she's quite small. Everything about her is on the small side. And she has quite long, very tangled blonde fur.
Oh, nice. So, as a direwolf, you're able to bound forward alongside Agnes, and you're able to both of you are able to get up to this abandoned at the same time. Right. Anybody else? No, Jopix is having Discord issues at the moment.
I would just use my reaction to have my sword and shield drawn and probably stand at the front of the party.
All right. So you'll act as a buffer of main defense against these two abandoned.
Yeah.
All right, Jopix, who are you using Firebolt on? The one that is right by Joya Lee and Agnes.
Sorry, I missed a lot of what was going on because of Discord. So there are 2 left?
There are 2 left. One's been blasted back 20 feet, so it is now 140 feet away from you. The other one is within 30 feet or 30, 40 feet of you guys, right up next to a dire-wolfed Joya Lee and Agnes.
So Firebolt has a range of 120. Can I move up 20 feet and get in range for a Firebolt? The farther one?
Yeah, go right ahead. Make an attack roll.
Thank you.
As you rush forward, you lob it over. 14 is a hit for 12 fire damage. And with that, you're able to strike the creature square in the head and explode it on impact. The body just slumps down and just goes limp.
Designed effect. Excellent.
And meanwhile, that Abandon is up against Agnes and the direwolf. It's going to go for the direwolf. It's going to lash out with its claws. Sorry, excuse the. It's not a short sword. It is claws. That's a 6, so that it will miss.
Yeah.
So as it just jumps onto you, just trying to claw into your body, you're able to shake it off, and it does no damage to you whatsoever. Agnes and Joya Lee, how would you like to follow up?
Can I get my rapier out and just stab it?
Make an attack roll.
Rapier.
17 is definitely a hit as you pierce it through its body.
I also get sneak on that as well.
That's right, you do.
6 points of sneak damage.
And you just with the rapier inside its body, you just twist it and pull it out, and it just starts pouring this black ichor of blood as its body just collapses on itself and it falls to the floor.
Do a little happy dance. I killed it!
Hooray!
Riley kind of sniffs it in a way that seems slightly just dejected.
Smells awful.
Are any of these? There are no more,
Nope, they're dead.
and they're all dead.
There was only half a dozen that you could see in the immediate area. So
Okay. Chris, if you hold on before I say that, let me. If you really want, I can talk to them now.
I mean, if you would like to, I was just trying to
No.
suggest you could tell them not to attack us or they'll die. I think that point's probably be made by the fact they're all dead.
Probably.
Don't get me wrong, I will kill anything that gets dangerous. It's just you get upset when I go randomly round killing people. You think that they're important or something, or that they have, like, souls or shit. I mean, look at them.
Certainly not these ones.
Cora is very triggered by these particular undead, which is why that reaction came out of her. Second thought, she's thinking like, okay, they followed the god of opposites. They might know something. I think she's probably, I don't know, not hopeful. She doesn't really want to talk to them.
Maybe you should, like, bring them back, and then you could have your own little undead army.
I mean, I can. I just really don't wanna. I'm gonna leave that to you unless it's a like emergency kind.
But it's so much fun.
I will take your word on that.
do you cast Speak with Dead on the Abandoned?
If none of the wizards feel like that's something they want me to do because they might get some information out of it, then
It might be beneficial if we ask if they know anything about the slither.
That's very true.
Okay. Well, if you think of some questions to ask, I will find wherever it is on my spell list. Not there. Not there. There it is.
Do you think Cora should bring you back to life?
No.
Life.
I'm gonna. It's gonna take me a little bit of time. But yeah. You think of some questions because I can ask it 3, and yeah.
Can I
So
go
take
and
my
take
10
a
minutes.
look and see
Oh,
where
5
they've?
questions. Just kidding.
Can I take a look and see where they've actually come from?
Make a survival check. It's hard to pinpoint exactly where they came from. They come down to quite often. They may have originated possibly maybe from the north. It's really hard to tell because this area has seen a little bit of traffic, not from yourselves. It's like light traffic. You can't tell if it's like beasts or if it is more of these abandoned. But according to what Joylia and Baruch have shared with you, this is not the first time they've encountered such creatures. Most likely won't be the last.
Yay.
Just everywhere around here. They don't tend to talk much. Can we move on?
I need to know if Cora's going to be doing Speak of Dead or not.
Yeah, I'm taking the 10 minutes that it takes to cast it.
Okay. So, after about 10 minutes or so, that usual divine glow that comes from Cora now becomes something of a black, misty color as it seeps down into the body of the abandoned.
Much better.
And the abandoned head just and its soulless, eyeless sockets kind of shimmer with a glaze of necrotic life.
Always so
Oh.
fascinating.
Wait, Cora did this?
Ba-
I'm just trying
baby
to speak
steps,
to them.
Cora. Baby
Just
steps.
trying to speak to them.
This
I
little
killed them.
Look at Cora in like utter shock.
No, that's not my magic. I don't know what that was. It happened before too. The thing that she doesn't want me to talk about, and she points to Breezy. That's what's doing this. Okay. Hi. Where is the slithering stillness?
Just need to check something. Speak with Dead.
Oh, I can put it in the chat for you.
You currently have tongues up, is that right?
Uh-huh.
Right, so you will understand its language and yet not understand it. The words it speaks seem to be complete gibberish. It says,
Imodnutske etnisral sinlits genitals et.
Backwards.
Lair in the
Eastern Dome.
Dome. Okay. All right. Oh, this is gonna be tricky. Okay. Number 2.
Number
Okay.
4 if it's going backwards.
What? No, wait. Kristen wants to know, are you asking how to get to the palace? Because I'm pretty sure we're going to. You want to know how to get into the palace?
Into it, I think.
Yeah, how to get into it.
Okay. All right. 2.
Yeah, sorry, I missed into.
That's okay. How do we get into and I'll point to it, the palace?
So since you figured out the pass, or how it speaks in reverse pretty instantly, and it's not going to be instead of having me to type it all out for you to get it out,
Okay.
it says in reverse in a Harlan language, well, best you can understand.
The key of the steel will open the way.
Okay.
What about if we ask it where we can find the key?
Wow, I mean, we've
Like,
been told it's on the stillness person.
Yeah, it said
Key
it's
is on
in the eastern.
Okay.
Yeah,
Alright.
and it's in the eastern dome.
okay, so now I want to ask it, how do we get out of here without going back to the front where Zor's at?
Good call.
There is no escape from the Lord of the Deep. There is only death.
And with that, the spell fades and the abandoned corpse returns to being a corpse.
Wait. I don't get my other two questions.
You asked 2 questions already.
I get up to 5 questions.
Oh, I thought it was 3 questions. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I thought it was
does
2,
not
and then I looked at it, I said it's 5.
The spell forces it to come back.
I wasn't done with you yet.
Come back.
I really don't want to talk to you either, but I just need to ask you a couple more questions.
All right.
Now I gotta remember what I was gonna ask it.
What about how to defeat the stillness, or any kind of anything that we should know about the stillness that
I'm so confused because you're right here and I can't hear you, and I can't hear you here. Is he very quiet for everybody else?
He is a little quiet, yeah.
Yeah, he is quiet.
I heard
just
him, if
got-
that helps.
No, it doesn't help, sir. Speak louder into my good ear. Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Okay. How do we defeat the slithering stillness?
By blade and fire, the curse will be undone, but those who are weak of heart will remain forever.
I've never been very good at riddles. The last question, I'm gonna look to the group. Should I?
Undone, not undead.
Undead. Oh, yep. Undone. I even heard you say that. I got undead on the mind. I'm gonna look to the group. Maybe I can ask it if it knows where the chained Holland stone is.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Okay. That's the one in the north, right?
Mm.
Okay. Where is the chained Holland stone?
Beyond my knowledge and reach.
And with that,
You can
spell
go
does
now.
fade.
Bye. Have a beautiful time.
So I will repeat that to everybody. Is there anybody whose heart is weak?
Literally or metaphorically?
Joya Lee and Baruch, you have seen in your travels a dome-like structure in the east. You just didn't go inside because it was just a place out of many to visit.
Ah, a dome in the east. I wonder if that could be the Eastern Dome.
That's like a logical deduction to make.
I'm a clever person. What can I say?
Really, I am so blessed to be surrounded by so many clever people.
How far away, like for time,
Oh.
how far away is that from here? Because if there really if I can't just believe my way through the barrier up there,
About
then
half an hour or so.
oh, that's not too bad.
Are we going to go to the barrier first and check it out anyway, seeing as we're on the way there? Or do we just want to head off to the Eastern Dome?
I mean,
Well, we're gonna need the key from ostensibly this Eastern Dome to get through the barrier. So might
We
as
have-
well check that out first.
yeah, maybe we could pick the lock. Did you guys try that?
You lost your rogue, remember?
I know.
Excuse me.
Oh yeah, the trainee rogue
She's
is
a
there.
bardy rogue.
Trainee rogue? I'm nearly more rogue than Bard.
I can't imagine this is a commonplace padlock, though. I imagine that the key is more complicated than that, right?
I mean, my experience with trying to use magic to brute force things is that it doesn't tend to work, and then you
And
also
hence
send your
we ended up there.
magical like sacrifices into the place where you're trying to get to, and I don't particularly want to go in there like on my own. So
And we haven't even got magical sacrifices, so what would happen to us?
I mean, we could
We have
pick a
two skeletons, I
skeleton,
guess.
maybe?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like the way you think. Okay,
Wait, I can sacrifice stuff to get magic?
well, you can sacrifice your soul to some giant demon lord if you find one. They often give like pacts.
Do I have a soul?
Everyone has a soul.
There you
Except
go. What we'll
undead.
do is find a
I don't
patron.
know. Have you met Porcus? Like,
I have a soul. It's just it's a little bit withered. It's maybe not as pure as some people's, but it's there.
So, in terms of game lore, every sentient mortal has a soul, and it is that soul that is the way that which the gods can communicate with you or not. You are aware that souls exist as you have met ghosts that have lingered long since after their death. There's a great form. The weave does mysterious things to the individual, especially after death.
interesting. I don't know if Lisbon would be willing to make a pact with a demon now. I reckon he'd
Other
be
options
turned
are
to
available.
religion more than he would make a pact.
It doesn't have to be a pact with a demon.
You could read a book.
I can sell my soul to something else. Porcus, how much? What do I get for my soul?
I mean, I'll give you 2 gold for it.
Oh, that's
What
a
are you
bad
gonna do
deal.
with the soul? You could pledge. You know, the gods work in different ways. You weren't with Sparhawk, but he had gods, and his magic worked differently than mine. And there are some people who are more like Carrie was, but I knew of a gnome once who got their powers from this weird like unicorn thing. Like you could.
And then
See,
there was
I had to
and
work
then there was
hard and
your
study.
former companion that you left behind in Sanctuary, who didn't utilize gods but utilized nature itself.
Indeed, lots of
I
magic out there.
I didn't have any magic until I came here. So maybe there's like a special place that you need to go to, and then you'll be able to get your magic.
Tried
got
that. We
magic
went
by
to the
coming here.
place. And all I can do now is this, and I do the sparks in my hand.
Good party trick.
He's very proud of it. He does it all the time.
That's magic.
Yeah, but that's it. Well, actually, once I did nearly do a magical arrow thing. I don't really know how that worked. I think it was the heat of the battle. It just came forth. But yeah.
Maybe sometime when you like really need it most, like you'll just like erupt into a blaze of magic and it will be really cool.
You mean I'm going to explode?
I mean, sometimes
Maybe.
magic can do weird things.
I saw somebody get turned into a potted plant once.
Yeah.
Are you sure you're ready for this magic, Lismer?
Honestly, I have no idea. But after seeing, well, I mean, we've come across that big ass dragon, and then we had the metally dragon, and now God knows what dragon's next. I wouldn't be surprised if the wolves start turning into a dragon.
As you say
Well,
that, the walls remain still.
At least if the walls turned into a dragon, the walls wouldn't be there, and we wouldn't have to try and find our way through the walls. We could just go where the dragon used to be.
I thought you were going to say the walls say otherwise.
No, it was a wall of silence.
Okay. Well, everyone, strengthen your heart, and we'll go to the Eastern Dome. I don't know how you strengthen your heart. I think probably regular cardiovascular exercise, but that doesn't sound like fun.
Rule
Oh, I
number
should be
one:
good then.
cardio.
All right.
Guess
So,
that means I'm walking and not hitching a ride.
I'm sure Cora won't mind carrying you.
Or do
But
you
it's not
want
good for the heart. But Core would definitely carry you.
good for my heart?
It would say be good for Cora's heart.
Core is immune to whatever this thing is, as long as there is a gnome nearby. Cora's heart is so indestructible.
If you could use like the extra weight to help with your cardio, that I would be fine with that.
Oh, I mean, I'm
Like a
not worried
medicine
about
ball.
that. I just, if it's helpful to you, I'll do. Do you wanna boost up?
Yeah, definitely. I presume that you're taller than the average human as well.
Yes, I'm 7 feet. I'm a small, still growing furbolg, but because I was raised by a gnome most of the time, especially with you around now, but she will not be trying to have you slip off. She hunches over and down so she doesn't like hit her head on things, and
It's bad for your back.
Volgris, you always thought Cora could be a good beast of burden, but
you did.
Well,
I will say that like Joylee is really careful to not pull on any hair or be awkward. Like with Burke, she just totally just treat him like a horse, but she's being a lot more gentle and careful now that she's with Cora.
Baruch, you feel a string of jealousy for some reason.
I appreciate you being gentle. You could always just talk to me or tap me if something happens and you accidentally rip hair out. I did lose all my hair once, and I have a potion to grow it back. But I mean, I'd rather not have to use that if I didn't have to. But
I'm not gonna pull out your hair. That's absolutely fine.
okay, if it's too bumpy up there, you just let me know. I'll try and walk really steady.
I think Joylee's gonna like find some flowers somewhere on her because like she's a druid and druids just have flowers everywhere. And start
do you have the druidcraft cantrip?
I don't, but I'd like to think that she has just some like dried flowers in a pouch or something. Is
Yeah,
that okay?
components. Yeah, components is fine. So like some dried petals and stuff.
And she just starts kind of like trying to weave them into Cora's hair, like really gently.
All right.
Got a feather up there too. She's very excited.
So, Joylee and Baruch, you would know to get to the Eastern Dome, you'd actually have to turn around, go back down to the main thoroughfare, and then continue heading eastwards. That would be the most direct path. So, heading back and walking again for about 10 minutes, you now turn right to head eastwards, and you travel about 20 minutes or so, making a beeline straight for this place. You avoid 4 more turn-offs to the right. And eventually the street naturally curves into a northwest direction. You feel a little bit of inclination going upwards. And after about 5 minutes of going up, the buildings on the right of you kind of disperse, and now you get a good view of the whole immediate area. You're outside of that, like that maze of streets now. Now you just see the entire cavern. And in the distance, you guys can see that huge palace-like fortress. Distance. Absolutely gargantuan in nature. Multiple rings and layers of defenses. It looks like it has seen battle. But it does look long abandoned. Can I get a group perception check, please?
Oh, maybe it left. It just left the key behind. That'd be helpful.
Or you have some petals in your eyes, but it's okay.
Sorry.
Between the gnome up there and the little mouse that I'm still holding, I'm not paying anything.
All right. So you are able to see in the streets below, and you've got a good viewpoint down there. Some of the streets are empty. One of the streets, you can see one of, like, almost like honestly, it looks like a thumbtack, how small it is and how far up you are. But it looks like you can see another one of those boulettes down there. And then in various other streets, and including on the rooftops, you see patrols of those abandoned.
This place isn't deserted at all.
You guys continue onwards. Eventually the inclination evens off, and ahead of you, just underneath a low point of the cavern, you can see this large dome-like area. And you can also hear the sound of running water as well. You guys want to proceed onwards?
Haven't come this far. Just to walk away now and
yeah.
not die.
From what direction is the water coming from? Sound like it's coming from.
Make a perception check to do with hearing, please. Maybe,
Let's say stab petals.
it's hard to tell exactly where from, Agnes, but you suspect maybe from beyond the cavern itself. Maybe there are some gaps in it. Because you are actually coming up to the very edge of the cavern where that dome is. That looks like that dome actually goes into the edge of this wide open cavern.
Okay.
I think Xeric would be less concerned with that. And you said that it looked like there had been a boulette around.
Yeah, like far below you in the lower streets. So, like, you know it's a large creature. It was bigger than all of you, but looking at it from up there, it looks like it's just sort of wandering up down the street slowly, so you can see its body lifting side to side. Its massive armored scale is just sort of like crunching over each step it takes. It honestly looks like the size of a thumbtack. That's how far away you are from it.
Okay. Can he just, because I know that they burrowed underneath of us, right? So can he
Yes.
just kind of like get down on the ground and put his ear to the ground and hands on the ground to see if he feels any vibrations, like there are any closer?
You can make another perception. You can make another perception check.
All right, this one is Xeric and not Cora, who's clearly not paying attention today.
He does not deter. He's not detect any vibrations within the ground. Right. So, guys proceed up to this dome-like structure, and the doors are open, almost on their hinges, if anything. It is dark within, no sources of light. But with your light sources, it does shine for you. Some do, Lisma. Moradin definitely is one of them. You guys venture inwards. And eventually, I will check for you later, mate. After about a couple of minutes of going down this long, dark corridor, there is another set of double doors that they look like they have been sealed shut from this side. You can see planks of wood have been hammered into this door, multiple sorts of them, as well as as well as like a multiple linked chain around the two handles, so sort of connected together. There is writing or pictographs on the outside of it. That with your eyes, Baruch, you can read it to say, "Let her curse. Blame her for eternity."
We'll pass this on to the group. So
Didn't the dead guy mention the curse?
He did. He said, "By blade and fire, the curse will be undone, but those who are weak of heart will remain forever."
So it seems likely that she's in there, or it's in there. I don't know why it's a she.
Well,
Oh,
let's
just let
get
her
this
curse.
door down. No point hesitating now. Got to be strong of heart. Let's keep going forward.
Ah, I like your enthusiasm.
Strong of heart, but maybe not soft of head, though. Too. Let's. We may have to game plan too, right?
Well, Zurich can do his fiery thing, and I'll slash at it.
And we still got the skeletons with us.
Yes.
We do indeed. They will follow me everywhere.
Can you send them ahead? Could they go in first?
I mean, if we can get the door open, then yes. But
Yeah. Okay.
at the moment, it's all chained and boarded shut.
Yeah, I get that.
The undead that we spoke to said specifically fire as well, right?
I might have something, maybe.
Such as?
I can like touch metal and then it gets really, really hot. And I don't know if that would count as fire, but it might help with the chains, and then somebody can hit it with like a sword or something.
Sounds
no,
like a plan.
you do not. You don't.
And also, you don't have to touch it.
You don't. You don't have to touch it. It's 60 feet.
Oh, excellent.
I mean, like, we're going out on a limb assuming you're talking about heat metal here.
Yes, but my character only went to druid school a very long time ago, which is the excuse I'm using for not fully knowing all the spells just yet.
You can touch it if you
We
want,
got
but then your
you.
hand will get hot.
I believe your master laughed at you constantly for getting the spells wrong.
Yeah. Oh, totally. I was kicked out for a reason. I was really bad at druid school. So
Just kind of thought druids just came naturally to them.
Before we start doing anything funny, do we want to see what's on the other side?
No, let's just go for it.
Do now, think later.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
mean, if we can see what's on the other side, yes, but I can't do anything without making a little gap.
Right. Can I use my ghostly gaze, I think it's called, and look on the other side of this door?
Yes, you can.
I have 30 feet of range for that.
That's right. So, you see Bullock's eyes gloss over in a misty white-like colour as he stares at this door. And Bullock, on the other side of this door, you can see a square-like room with a fountain inside of it. You can just about see two exits to the left and the right. And ahead of you, beyond from what your sight can actually see, appears to be a stairwell that goes downwards, and several very, very well-made stone sculptures of people.
Sculptures of what, sorry?
People.
People, right. And do
As you
they
can
look
tell.
more like humans from the old world, or more like the
Oh,
abandoned
no.
from? No. Okay.
They look like something you would need to get a close look because you've not seen anything like them before.
Okay. Fair enough. And the fountain you mentioned, is it still going?
No, but
No.
the water isn't stagnant either.
Right.
It's a
Okay.
magic
So
fountain.
there's water moving around in there. There's some statues, and I can't see anything like moving around. No living
No.
things. No. Okay. So yeah. Okay. It looks safe enough past this door. There's 2 exits in the stairwell. Did you say it was going down, Jack?
Yes.
Yeah. Stairwell going down from here. So
Okay, I have a question about the statues.
yeah.
Did they look like they were in official poses? Like,
I'm just holding
hmm,
McGonagall
or
like really
hmm,
tight.
or did they look like they were in the middle of something and then all of a sudden got frozen?
Did they? I'm just gonna have another. Yeah.
Various poses. It's hard to tell because the fountain kind of obscures your view of them a little.
Right.
Or you can see one of them is equipped with halberd and is holding it like this. Another one has a spear holding it sideways a little bit. Another one looks like he's in the process of throwing something.
Right. They're all armed, and are they
Oh,
all sort of facing the same direction with like their weapons?
No, actually, multiple directions. Like it's kind of scattered around, really.
Right. So they're all armed, but they're all pointing in different directions.
okay. So, back, I mentioned Sparhawk. I don't know if you heard that, but he we were fighting this thing. It was a giant metal bull and it turned things to stone, like people to stone. And McGonagall was stone for a while. And there were people, we met Joe Prick shortly thereafter, but there were people who looked like statues, but they were just trying to fight this thing and they were turned to stone by it.
Poor
And I
McGonagall.
know that they were designed to hunt down the abandoned, and she's going to kind of like shudder and look at the the skeletons that Fortress has reanimated. Ah, so
Did
I just
did the metal
wanted you
balls
to
do
know.
anything with the water? Because that's sort of moving instantly of its own accord.
Did the metal bull do anything with the water?
No, not that I remember. But there can be many creatures, many monstrosities that have
But
these sort of powers. I don't know.
I know it was indestructible. No damage at all. Hit it. We
no,
definitely
wait.
tried everything.
But we did find out afterwards that each one had a specific vulnerability. So
So it
we
sounds like this
need to
one would be
try,
fire.
yeah,
So
fire and
maybe we need to set it on fire, and then blast it. Or maybe it requires maybe it's got a weak point once you've set it on fire.
Okay. Well,
maybe it's
I
not
think
in there at all, but I think we just need to. I just wanted to let. She looks up. She remembers that one of them's up there. I just wanted to make sure you guys knew. So it was a gas, right? It was a gas
Yeah, it was a gas, yes.
that came.
yeah,
Um,
that turned poor McGonagall to stone.
I've never done it before, so it might not work. But I may have a spell or something that I can use that if one of us did get turned to stone, I may be able to unturn us to stone. Maybe.
Okay. So what I'm hearing is the main mission here is protect Joylea. Joylea.
Buddy.
I'm struggling with your name.
You could
Joey?
just,
That's just Vorkris. It's fine.
I mean, if you wanna, just call me Joy. That's fine.
if your
Joy
name
is
is
just.
Jolie, though, that's
It's
your
not really the
name.
sort of word that Vorkris should be saying. Joy. Just it doesn't feel like a very Vorkris word.
I mean, my name is Cora Brierly Rosewind Terrible Sparklefoot. don't make everybody say all of it, but if Joy Lee is your name, then that's what we should call you.
Yeah, but
He'll be fine. He's smart. If you write it down for him, he'll figure it out.
my name wasn't always Joyalee, and it can be Joyalee and sometimes and Joy other times, and it can be whatever's
It
easiest.
wasn't. I feel like we're getting off track, but it wasn't always your name.
Well, I mean, it kind of always was because it's the name that my parents gave me before they abandoned me. But then, like when I was growing up, they didn't tend to call me it, and it was only when I became an adult that I took it back again. And so,
Do you have another name?
not one that I like to use now.
Okay, I won't use it. I won't even ask about it. I'm sorry I
But
brought it up.
Joy is fine.
Your master used to call you Corgi.
I got called
Do you
Run.
have a really cute butt? I love Corgi.
We have a dwarf called Corgi.
Yeah.
It was generally because like I still am very, very small. So I would be called like Run, Goldie, whatever, like
Okay.
small and not good at what I was supposed to do. So
But I maintain that if you can turn us back from stone, we need to stop you being stone.
Yes.
Well,
yes.
that's the thing. Roleplay / out of character. Obviously, the spell needs a diamond, and I don't know what resources you guys have because, like, we haven't. Neither me nor Brooke have anything like that. So,
Don't think we have any diamonds yet.
Yeah, I don't. I don't
hence,
know.
We
the
do.
maybe.
We got them from
Yeah.
Machintuck. But we have more than one. I've been saving one for Revivify so we don't have an Isaac situation again. What spell is it that you're talking about?
Greater restoration.
Oh, yep. I've got that too. So at some point I was going to plan on because it needs to be diamond dust, right?
Yeah, worth 100 GP.
Yeah. We have that. We just need to like grind it down. So
I mean, worst case, I have a big hand that could probably just crush it.
Oh, I have a can too. But diamonds are really hard.
It's not these hands. It's a big magical hand. It's stronger than these.
All right, so how would you guys like to get beyond this door? This boarded up with wood and chain.
We could knock.
I mean, it's boarded up from the outside. So even if we knocked and they wanted to let us in, they can't because they're trapped in.
Right.
Oh, I thought she meant the spell then.
Oh yes, a spell knock might work.
she's wiser than she is intelligent. You're just gonna have to deal with that.
That's fine. Maybe if you do heat metal.
Do we want to like
oh, no, I don't have
see
ice.
if anybody can just like pull it open first before I use any magic? I mean, I'm happy to use heat metal, but if it's just a problem that can be solved with a big tug, then that might be better.
I can try. Lismer, do you wanna come and help me?
Zurich?
Yeah, sure.
I'm
Xeric?
gonna.
Zeric's
Can-
strong.
I think so.
Yes, he is. Oh, Zeric. Zeric's
Can I
very strong.
cast guidance on whoever is gonna like head the pulling?
Can I confirm? Strength checks from those who would like to pull off the boards, please.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna guide one of them.
All right.
And I'll guide
I'm feeling
another.
really tired after that arm wrestle.
My strength check is here, and I will take the D4 from her. Oh, Jesus.
Dude, that's a natural one.
You
It
rolled
sure
3
is.
natural ones.
I have. I need to close out. I'm pretty sure that I've got a.
I think you need to just like get rid of something from your life and get rid of that bad juju.
So that's Zurich. That second one is an 18.
Right. So, Lisba. Oh my. Oh, this is tough. After about 2 minutes, you're able to pull out. and takes out and looks exasperated at the sheer incompetence of the other two.
Listen, Lydia gets a little tickly in my pocket. I don't know how you deal with this, but I appreciate your work. You did a really good job, and I still really like Lydia, but it's just distracting sometimes.
Well,
This
so
is
you've
the way to
taken
look
the
at him.
you've taken the
Right.
wooden boards off. How do you want to take the chain off?
Is there any end to this chain?
Is there a
Anything that?
padlock or anything?
Connected into each other, so it's wrapped around and round and round and round and connected into
Okay.
each other with a padlock.
Can I look quite close at the chain and see if I can spot perhaps a link that's a bit weaker than the rest?
Make an
Deformity
investigation
somewhere?
check.
While he's doing that, can I, Agnes? Didn't you and Carrie do stuff like this?
The chain is pretty secure, but the padlock itself looks flimsier.
There we go. So don't worry too much about the chain. Let's get the padlock, and that looks a bit weaker. I reckon if we hammer that, maybe if Zivik gets his sword in there and gives it like a leverage.
Well, I can try and use some of my Swift tools on it to try and break it.
Agnes knows how to pick locks.
That's also a possibility. Agnes, would you like to pick a lock?
I haven't done it for ages. I'm getting a bit rusty with this.
Oh, you need to practice some.
She's going to put her hands on your shoulders. I believe in you. She's going to give you guidance.
Would you like to make a Thieves Tools check, please,
Yeah.
Agnes?
Oh wow.
Well, I'm a bit
yeah.
rusty at this.
Cora believes in you.
Right?
You just
So,
looked at it and it
You're a
popped
bit
open.
rustic this, and you just like pull out one of the lockpicks and spin it around your fingers like a little baton. Ding! Falls apart.
I feel like
That-
that's like, oh, I
that's
haven't
you
done this
being
in so
rusty?
long. I'm not good at it.
That was not rusty. That was flawless.
I know this elf called Vanas, and he'd be so turned on by you right now.
So
I
with
kind of
that,
just
the
like
padlock undone.
give
then
the padlock to Cora and be like, "Did it? See, I did it."
I'm so proud of you. I'm gonna tuck it away as like a memento.
Agnes's
that-
first padlock.
You can pull the chains off of the door and just boom, onto the floor.
Is anyone
the metal
bothering us?
these,
Sorry.
the metal these chains are made of, does it look like good quality metal? Is it?
No,
bad
it's brittle metal at best.
Okay.
Is anyone around, like the abandoned that we saw, or the bullets? Are they reacting to this at all? Has anyone come anywhere near us? I mean, the sound of a chain being
No.
dragged out sounds quite loud.
No, I mean it's a little loud, but you are down an enclosed corridor at the moment, and the
Probably an area
closest
they
things-
avoid.
Yeah, the closest creatures that you saw was below you. You know, a good 150, 200 feet drop, sort of thing. So
Roger that. Okay, look, everyone's heart feeling sturdy,
Let's do this.
Dirty as ever.
yeah.
and try and pull the door open.
So you open the door.
Right, my sword and shield ready. Taking the lead.
I hope the skeletons are walking in first.
Yeah, the skeletons will happily go in first.
I'll follow behind the skeletons.
Cannon
Give
fodder.
them like 10 feet.
Inside.
Go in the back.
Inside, you see quite the sight. You see a large, still fountain with no stagnant water, no moss growing in it whatsoever. You can see two exits to the left and the right going into a cavern of some sort. And ahead of you is a stairway that goes down into like a dome-like cavern area. Across that you can see what appears to be a bridge. And scattered around are about 24 statues of creatures you have not seen before. They are tall, with slim-like heads and spiky, elf-like ears. Their hair is like sleeked backwards and sort of now stayed in place because their hair is stone as well. It looks like they have long, slendery arms and legs. And they are taller than Cora. They're not large creatures, but they are definitely taller. And their weapons are so exotic. Like that, they're just different culture, a different make of weapon and how they are designed. And alongside them, you see various stone statues of abandoned. You see, they look similar to these creatures, but they're a bit smaller, more hunched, and their skin is a lot more rotted away. However, you can't tell if it's their actual skin or if they are stone, for they are all grey. You can see two other creatures that you don't think are stone, but are currently on the floor. Patchwork skin sewn together, yellowed and decayed. You've seen these creatures once before in another mine far away. These are known as the Grim. They appear to be functional.
We met these guys before. Yes. What? They're in your book. I think that they were like the abandoned, but they were more powerful than the regular ones, right?
I
Not
want to
long.
say yes.
The answer is yes.
I trust you. I'm kind of like my book's upstairs. My actual book that I was writing is upstairs. I'm like,
They are currently like right in our face.
They're on the floor. Actually, they're just
Prone, yeah. Okay.
yeah, prone. Yeah.
Do they look alive? Well, not alive, but are they
They-
moving? Are they inert? Or...
They're not moving, but they are not stone.
They smell the same that they smelled before. I remember they had a really
Yeah.
distinct,
They have a
gross
very
smell.
poignant smell about them. Yes.
How far ahead of us roughly are they?
It varies between as close as 20 feet to about 40, 50 feet. They are scattered around.
I could send my skeletons to walk forward and see if they react at all to things walking past them.
That's probably a good idea.
I'd be like, go little skeletons.
Yeah, go for that.
Do I see? You remember the crystals that were in the crypt?
You do not see those crystals currently.
Okay.
Are my skeletons getting any reaction from walking along?
So right now, no.
Okay, so either they won't react or they don't like skeletons.
Oh, who's next?
Should we
I
start
feel like
to
Xeric
slowly make
would.
our way in?
Xeric would lead the way.
I'd probably follow Zurich. Like,
The
running.
skeletons keep on moving forward.
No, they
Given
were
the-
just like little testing. They'd probably get to about that. Is that like steps down or steps up?
Those are steps down.
Yeah, so they'd come down to the bottom probably and split up and maybe go.
All right.
Like,
So once they
that,
take their
and then
first
wait.
step off of the stairs, one of the bodies begins to shift.
What, the stone statue bodies or the grim ones? Right. Okay.
They start coming towards the skeleton. And it goes out to attack one.
Dare they?
These ones are armed. Natural 20.
I think that hits.
So that is for Brian and Jess's sake, how I do natural 20s is you roll the damage, you double it, and then you add your modifier. So for me, I rolled a 4, so that now is doubled to 8, and then I add the 2 for the modifiers for 10 damage.
Right.
Awesome.
Yes, I see.
So it just
So
cuts,
9 damage.
cuts its short sword into the skeleton.
They actually have an extra 9 hit points as well, though, because of my wizard level. So they're on. Well, he's on 12.
Right. I believe your skeletons can or will they respond to an
Yeah.
attack?
I mean, absolutely. They're there to protect us, but they will defend themselves as well. The other one will come over and swing for skeletons. In fact, they haven't got any weapons, have they?
Oh, so you've got unarmed strikes.
Okay, so this is going to be fun.
I thought we gave them weapons that were in the party loot bag.
We may have done for the last lot of skeletons I did. I didn't specifically say it. I've just kind of sent skeletons out. So if they
these
survive
new
this,
ones. Sorry.
yeah, if they survive this, I'll give them weapons out of the bag. But until then, so just d20. They've got nothing to strength, so an 18 and an 18.
That hits. 2 hits. So that's 2 points of damage. Is that right?
Yeah, you
So
go
they just start.
skeletons.
It will go to attack again unless anybody else is going to intervene at this point.
Yeah, I mean I'll be lobbing firebolts at it by now.
Make an attack roll. That's a hit. Roll damage.
11 points of fire damage.
It falls over backwards and begins bursting into flames and dying away.
Okay, come back, little skeletons. Come back.
We think fire's the way to go, guys.
Did it look like fire expected? Did it look like the fire did exactly what it was expected to do, or that it was a little more vulnerable to it?
It looked like it was supposed to do exactly what it was meant to do.
And there's still a second one of these things on the ground.
That was just an abandoned. It wasn't one of the grim.
Oh. I thought it
Oh,
was one of them.
Have we got a couple of spare swords in the party loot, Cora?
yeah.
I will arm the skeletons.
Is there anything coming down from this left-hand side corridor?
Make a perception check. You do hear something coming from down there. Sounds of multiple rattles.
Does it sound more like chains, or does it sound
No.
more like cogs?
Neither. It sounds serpentine-like in nature.
Well, that sounds slithery.
It's gonna be like, Zurich, it sounds snaky down here.
It could be the slithering stillness.
Freshly armed skeletons.
Oh shit.
Go.
Where
Currently
it
is
sounds
gonna
like it's coming from
carefully.
here.
Can Joe Briggs take a listen down the other corridor?
Make another perception check, please. Sorry, Joy Ali, what were you going to do?
I'm just, for the sake of when this eventually all goes horribly wrong, I'm gonna climb down from Cora so I'm no longer like balancing on her during combat.
Go ahead and
Where's
move
your
your
optimism?
tokens. Go ahead and move your tokens where you'd like to be in this room. Joe Bricks, you can also pick up more coming from the other direction.
Lizmer, you have a bow, right? A longbow.
Yes.
So while she was rummaging around getting weapons for the skeletons, she found a +3 arrow, and she's going to hand it to you.
Oh, this could be very handy. Thank you.
That would be a one-time shot, just so you know.
Yep.
Everyone, I hear it down this corridor as well.
You have to wonder. I mean, like when you hear about daggers and swords that are +3, these are very, very powerful magical items. Who would bother enchanting an arrow with that level of magic? It just seems like a lot of effort for.
You needed just one.
Could have been
shot.
from a +3 level of quiver and just the last shot in it.
Okay. Is that a thing then? Can you get quivers that just make all your arrows magic?
No, but you can buy from, from especially in the old world, people who could afford powerful weapons, and instead of enchanting individual arrows, they would just enchant quivers of arrows. So
Okay.
you'd have 20 +3 shots of arrows.
This guy named Wade made them. It was very expensive.
Bloody Wade.
Oh, Wade.
Everything he does is expensive.
Is that just a +3 to damage, or is that +3 to hit as well?
+3 to attack and damage.
Both.
Cool.
Why not both?
I think we
So-
got this from the last room with the abandoned in it anyway.
I'll be.
Guys,
Okay.
like today.
I think Xeric will try and move in. Now, you said that it's coming from both sides?
Yes.
Okay. Xeric would want to protect Agnes.
Right. As Xeric goes down the corridor, and as he turns around this natural path, you can see a large circular-like altar of some kind with a huge hole in the middle, and around it you can see hundreds upon hundreds of small snakes of various colours rattling their tails.
So his armor's not quiet, but he's going to try and whisper back. There are a bunch of snakes back here. I hope you're not scared of them, Lismer.
No, just flash away, I guess. My
Vorgris.
armor should protect me pretty well.
Vorgris.
Well, Chris, what about you? You're not scared of snakes, are you?
No, snakes die relatively easily.
Cool.
Meanwhile, on the other side of Cora, there's Joe Pricks and Joya Lee. What are you doing?
I'm looking over at Borgris going, what is it? What is it?
Snakes. I'll use message and I'll go, snakes.
Like big snakes? I put my hands up wide.
I'm like, little snakes. But lots of them.
Fingers together, little snakes?
But not one little snake, not two little snakes. All the little snakes.
So many snakes.
I don't like the idea of splitting up though. No, there could be the same thing on this side. I think we should stay together.
Well, let's just take a side at a time. Let's clear this side and then head back over.
Oh, but I don't. Wait, Joe Bricks, where are you going? Because you've been having this conversation in your head the whole time. Joe Bricks, where are you going?
They're just little snakes.
What's little snakes?
Over on that's what I could hear in the corridor. They heard over there. They said it's just little snakes. But I
Okay.
don't think we should split up.
Well, that didn't sound ominous at all. I'm sure everything's fine.
Everything's super fine.
Jay, I'm not the best tactician, but I don't. Leaving this whole thing and pinning us in here makes me feel a little nervous. She'll walk over anyway. Agnes.
Yes.
Just want to let you know that you did a really good job with all of those lock picking skills you thought that you had lost. But those things over there are going to require the same amount of skill. Guys, we got another problem. There are a bunch of the things popping up over here.
They're awake. They're awake.
We have company, everybody.
Yeah. Get your ass over here.
Oh, hold on. Okay. Wait. As soon as they start
Excuse me, we're trying to strategize here.
make sure that. I don't really want to eat. I'll do it. I'm gonna cast tongues.
Wait, Breezy is out by the entrance. She did not want to go in here.
I figured, yeah.
That seems fair.
See two of those yellow brim-like things begin walking up the stairs.
I will
Saying
put my
anything that.
shield up and have my sword ready and intervene them.
I'm back.
As they get to the top of the stairs, can I try Eldritch blasting each one to knock them back?
Do you want to? If you want to attack them, that will start initiative. Do you want to continue?
Right. You just cast tongues, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah, let's give her a chance to talk first then.
Stop!
In the name of love.
My heart is not weak, so you can't break it, Vorkris. Hi. Cora will step
Their
forward.
heads ominously bob in your direction, Cora, like they understand you.
So we don't. What happened here?
Make a persuasion roll.
Yes. At least it's not a natural one.
That's true.
It's much better. It's twice as good.
Well, the one that you're right next to, Elizabeth, looks directly towards you, and you like start squaring each other up now. And the smell, oh my goodness, the smell is almost overpowering, Elizabeth. This is the most foulest thing you have ever seen in your entire life. It's literally stitched together from various different body parts. It's disgusting. It's a complete abomination of life.
It's got feelings, Jack. God.
So we'd rather not fight with you. It just, we want to know what happened here. We're, looking for some stuff and thought that it might be here.
Leave this place.
Well, we are going to, as soon as we get the thing that we came for, and we're looking for a key. And apparently there's something called a slithering stillness, which is kind of an oxymoron because it can't be slithering and still at the same time. But we're looking for a key, and that creature has it. So if you just want to point us in the right direction, we'll take the key and then we'll go.
You were warned.
We were warned.
Get initiative, please.
Were we?
All right.
Don't forget to click your token before you click initiative.
Why did you give me the ones?
I was just gonna say I'm sorry. I didn't think it was contagious. She was like,
That's
you can
what-
do this, and gave you all of her bad rolls.
What do I do with my token for
You
initiative?
just
So
click
if you
on,
just click on it,
first.
Right.
Uh-oh.
and then open your sheet and click initiative, and it'll roll it. But yeah, if you don't click the token, it doesn't add it automatically, and then Jack has to do things.
And then I get told off because I forget every time.
Yeah, you do. I make a big deal out of it when everybody does it for the first time correctly in months. It's quite impressive, actually.
If you didn't forget every time, then we wouldn't have been reminded, and I would have had no idea what to do. So it works.
Yay!
Lisma, Agnes, Cora, Joy Lee, Volkris, Joyprix, Zurich, Baruch, Abandoned, Grim. Skeletons. Do they go after you, Volkris?
Oh, that's a very valid question, which I had not checked. Why are the spells so goddamn long? Yes, it just says on each of my turn I can mentally command any creature to do things. Yeah, it costs me a bonus action, so yeah, I'm guessing it just goes on my turn, or just after my turn.
Right. So then, as they say that, these creatures immediately start roaring out. They begin charging forward to attack. You can see flashes of orange light appear far ahead of you across the bridge. You recognize those flashes where it's happened in the previous mines.
Purple is good!
Where abandoned kept on coming each flash of light. Except for Joy Lee and Baruch, you have no idea what the fuck's going on.
I remember
I don't think
this.
Lismer or Joprix do either.
Joe, I
Were you there?
think so, yeah.
Oh, because we got them again the second time.
Alright.
Right?
We've got to get across the bridge, basically.
It is the abandoned turn, so they immediately start scaling across the surface, climbing up. 10, 15. – 25, 30, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and 15, 20, 25, 30. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. That. Alright. Oh, Chris, you're going to get one short sword attack. 12.
That's a miss.
Right, Cora, you're going to get two short sword attacks. 20 and 10.
One
That's
of
it.
them hit.
So you take maximum damage. That is 14 slashing, piercing damage from one of them that just immediately bounds up from the platform, like scrambling across, dragging its sword on the floor, jumps up into the air, and just shoves it into your shoulder.
Oh,
Lisma, you will get one sword attack. 13, that would be a miss. Joy Lee, you will get one short sword attack. 6, I believe that will miss. So yeah, there's these creatures just start bounding onwards. They all jump off of the walls trying to attack you. Most of you are able to dodge, use your armor to get out of the way. Cora's the only one that actually gets hurt from that. Baruch, you're up.
Right. Am I? Yeah. Okay. I will shoot an Eldritch Blast at each of the ones that is on either side of Joyly.
Alrighty then.
So first I'll shoot at the top one.
That's a hit. Roll damage.
Sorry, we need to move things. Just click on that.
7 force damage. He is blasted away by 10 feet. He can't go the full 10 feet, so he'll just crack into that wall there.
Okay. And then the other one.
That is also a hit. Roll damage.
And
10 force damage. This one blows off part of his body. You can see one of his arms go flying away as he's crashing into the wall directly by Joy Ali. He slides down. He's still functioning, but he's heavily damaged.
I'm gonna. I suppose I can step back a little bit to here, and then that will be my turn.
All right, then. Zurich's turn.
Whoop, that's me. So not fighting the skeletons in front of him because they are friends. 5, 10, 15. He's going to move over here. And booming blade is not the one I want. I think I want the red flame blade, which is really the green flame because it leaps. Yeah, okay. Okay. He's going to attack this one right in front of him.
All right.
Oh, there's that. And I think that gives me the melee attack. Red
Try ya.
blade. I don't know what that is.
So you have to make the attack roll first.
Yep. I'm just trying to figure out the way he has this out. Sorry, my thing is being so super slow today. All right. Red flame blade.
It's in the attacks and spellcasting part of it on the core part. A 12 is just a miss against those creatures. He sees it coming. He's able to dodge out like.
Right. And then he will go again with extra attack. I don't know what, just do his character sheet. There it is.
9 is definitely a hit.
So I think the 6 is the one that jumps to the other one.
Hold on. Right here. So you actually initially missed with the attack. So the second so you actually missed with the cantrip. The second attack is just a melee attack.
Oh, it doesn't just stay on there. Okay.
No, it's an instantaneous effect that especially you make you cast a spell to make the attack. On the hit, the spell dissipates.
Okay.
So on a miss. So my apologies.
Okay. All right. So then it's just to the first guy. Then the 17 to this guy.
Okay, so as you strike him, the first one he misses. He brings up again, just pierces it through the chest, and just like pushes him backwards with his elbow, and the creature just falls backwards and down onto the ground, and doesn't get up again. Right, is that everything from Zurich?
Yeah, I think that he will. I think he'll kind of stay here to hold the line. He's in front of his boss, protecting him. I think he's.
All right, so it's the Bandit's Grim's turn. One of them immediately calls out, which echoes throughout the cavern, beyond where Baluk is, down the corridor. That was a call if you ever heard anything. And now those two abandoned Grim are going to focus on you, Lisma. They're going to attack you both with their claws. 20 and 14.
20 hits.
Can you make a Constitution saving throw, please? You take 6 slashing damage. You just make the save to resist this effect. As they're clawing into you, you feel secretion from their claws go over your body, but you're able to force your will over the effects and you're not paralyzed.
6 damage, did you say?
Yeah, 6 slashing damage in total. They're going to stay where they are for now. Joe Briggs, you're up.
Is it possible to get both of the Grim in a web and have it go over them successfully?
That is. I'm gonna.
Like from a statue or something. Like it's gotta.
Well,
Have
yeah. I mean, you can get them, but I don't think there's anything in range on the map you could cast it from that won't get Lisma as well.
Gotcha. Yeah, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. Okay. Let's see. Well, there goes that plan. I am gonna hit one of them with. Let's see. Sorry, that was just kind of my plan. So let me do this. Let me say, I want to say, don't look at my spell, comrades. Don't look at my spell. And I'm gonna say, abandoned, and try to get their attention. Not that they'll know, they wouldn't understand.
They don't seem to speak your language, so
That's true.
they're focusing on their targets for now.
I would shoot up a hypnotic pattern up above.
Okay. Hypnotic pattern. So where exactly are you shining it?
I'm gonna shine it in a way that I think most of them will be looking in that direction already. So
Right.
if that means like it would be up in the air, but if it's
Yeah,
over
you see,
the
this
top,
is
maybe
this is the sort of thing with hypnotic pattern. You can warn your allies that you're going to do it, but they can look away on their turn. But unfortunately, if it's an instant because it's an instantaneous sort of like effect that immediately comes into existence. You would target them unless they can stay on their turns. They're going to look away from the area. If you cast it now, you will affect everybody.
all right. If that's the case,
Depends where it is, 'cause I'm facing forward.
I was gonna say
it's a little
they're
complicated.
facing us and we're facing them. So if you
If I put it like above myself, so that the majority of them are looking our way, looking south, effectively.
Yeah,
But
so that still get Agnes and Baluk.
yeah,
Is it an option for us to use our reactions to avoid looking at it if we've been warned about it?
That's the thing. It doesn't say that in the spell because this is it's a catch-all thing. It's an area of effect and it affects multiple things, and you can see it because it just comes to existence. If you told me on your turn that you were looking in another direction, I wouldn't have an issue with it. But since it's not your turn yet, you're looking at the enemies that are coming in front of you, and then all of a sudden, in front of you, this huge hypnotic thing comes into existence.
But if it's
Tell you what,
above them, so if it's like 10 feet above them,
Yeah, but
and
it'll
you're
be
looking forward,
yeah, but it'll be 10 feet above you, looking forward as well. Is what I'm saying. So it would get Agnes and Baruch.
and I don't want to do that. So like, if I can I retcon that and I'll change it to can I
Yeah,
change it to a fireball that just encapsulates the 2 Grim.
no problem, no problem at all.
So it would have to be centered somewhere out there. So wherever 20 feet would still get the.
All right, so you're just going to go for those 2 Grim with a fireball, no
I don't want to
problem.
get.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't want to get Liz.
Yeah, no, it's no worries. With that, you'll be able to target them and just them. That won't be an issue. So 10 and 18. So one saves, one fails.
86. Let's see.
So one of the abandoned Grim is incinerated in the bus. You can see his flesh is blown away and immediately falls over, half skeleton, half burnt flesh. The other one is able to resist the damage to the point where he's still able to stand. That is 16 points of fire damage against him. You can also see that many of the statues in that area have been heavily damaged by that.
Oh.
Like a few limbs have been blown off. Some weapons have been blown out of hands and the like. Even one statue actually toppled over and smashed.
Wow. Impactful. I am.
Good job they're just
gonna-
statues and not real people.
Right. I'm gonna Jack Sparrow run all the way over here.
I see them. Orcus, you're up.
Okie doke. So Vorkus is going to take a step forward. And he's going to shout, Lisma, duck! But then he's not actually going to wait for Lisma to duck. And he's going to cast Burning Hands at 2nd level.
Right. What direction are you pointing it at? Or are you
So
basically...
the goal is to like go up here. So I want to try and get. I can't get that end one, but I can get everyone there, including Lisma, unfortunately.
Right, Elizabeth, can you make a dexterity saving throw, please? So 1, 2, and 3. So one of the abandoned saves.
And the thing, the Grim as well.
At 21
And the Grim
comes
makes
in.
it. God damn it. So I did it at 2nd level, so it's 46.
That's 13. So the two closest to you are incinerated in the blast. The one by Lisma is able to sort of stand his ground and hold off the majority of the damage, but he's still hurt from that. As well as the Grim behind you. Lisma, you weren't prepared that quick. Basically you get caught by the majority of the blast. However, that Grim, after being blown up by that fireball behind him, is now incinerated in front by the burning hands and actually burns down into a crisp and ceases to function.
Sorry, Lisma.
Well done, workers.
There were just two clumps that I couldn't not take advantage of that, even though poor Lisma. And then I will tell my skeletons to start hacking these abandoned to pieces.
All right.
Just as a quick one, my skeletons don't have vision, so therefore they're currently in blackness right there. I can still move them forward, and they're both going to swing at that one. But so with a short sword, so +4 to hit from each of them. They're both going for the same one.
Okay.
So 14 and 8.
Hits.
Does the 14 miss as well?
14 miss. Sorry, so the 14 hits. My apologies.
14 hits. Okay, that's cool. So 1d6 plus 2. So 6 points of slashing damage.
So as it cuts into it, you can see black ichor just onto the floor and onto the blade. Still standing. Right.
And that'd be me.
Cool. So I'm going to use my bonus action for second wind.
To pat your hair out.
Okay.
I'm just healing up the bits of damage I took, you know.
Yep.
$16 health.
16 definitely is.
Nice.
That's a good. Yep. So
So
as your action,
83. There we are. And then I'm just going to slash at the one to the left of me
all right.
with my sword. $23. I assume that hits.
That definitely hits. Yeah.
4 damage.
Right. So, despite the fact this guy has been burned horribly, as you cut into him, the necrotic energy that causes him to stand still courses through its body, but it's heavily wounded.
Cool. and then I'm just gonna finish it off.
Extra attack.
Hi.
Yep.
No, I am not. Or am
you
I?
swing, and it just goes a little bit too wide.
No.
Do stay where you are.
Yeah, I'll stay where I am.
It's Joy Ali's turn.
So I'm gonna cast Flaming Sphere
Alrighty then.
at level 2. And I'm gonna cast it if I can get my character sheet out the way. Here, where that little red dot is, so it should get the 2 guys, that one, and 2 guys either side, diagonally. I think. Oh, brilliant! Yeah, perfect.
So I'm just going to give that token control for you, so you can move that token now.
Brilliant.
So you bring it into existence. Flaming Sphere. I think what happens is you have to ram it into them.
Yeah.
Just duration any creature ends its turn must make a dexterity save. As a bonus action, you can move the sphere. So you bring it into existence. Do you want to use your bonus action to ram it into them?
Yeah, I'm going to use my bonus action to ram it into the one to the right of Lisma.
That one up there. Okay, make a... No, it needs to make a dexterity saving throw, so... 21. So that is a success.
So it does 2d6 and then halved because it succeeded.
No. When you try to ram it into somebody, if it makes a save, it doesn't take any damage at all. It's only if it ends its turn there and makes a saving throw and then fails, then it takes half the damage.
Okay.
So as a bonus action, you can move the sphere up to 30 feet, and if you ram it into a creature, that creature must make a saving throw against the sphere's damage, and the sphere stops moving on this turn.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
Cool. Well, it's just gonna hover there ominously now.
So the flame sphere comes into existence as it flies towards this abandoned. It's able to dodge to the side, and it cracks into one of the statues beside it. You can see bits of that statue just flies off in chunks as the creature is just like it's like backing away from this flaming sphere that's there. All right. So did you want to move anywhere, Jolie?
No, I'm just gonna stay right there.
All right, Agnes, you're up.
I'm gonna come. Could you just pinpoint where the orange beacon was?
Up here. You saw that?
No, I can. Oh, is it that far up? But I can't see it. Oh, okay, it's up
See
there.
that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm gonna come over here and just with my sword, my rapier, just kind of go yeah, and kind of stab it.
Okay. Good attack roll.
25.
That's a hit.
Cool.
So as this creature is embedded into the ground, into the wall from the Eldritch Blast that hit it, you just go straight up to it as it's coming out. You just shove the blade through its neck up into its brain. You withdraw it, and it just clumps down into the hole that was made in the wall, and it is destroyed. Anything else from you, Agnes?
I'm just gonna reposition and go over here, like in the doorway.
Okay. All right, Cora, it's your turn.
What is the rule? You can move through friendly space?
Yeah, you can move through friendly creatures. You just can't end your turn in them.
Okay, great. So, actually, I can just do this and step over dead bodies. So
Yeah.
I will go here and then that way over. All right, so I think I'm going to use my action to dash and then my bonus action. So let's go here, 5, 15, and then, woo, God. Sorry, I lost my whole map.
You will take an opportunity attack if that's the case.
Yeah, yep.
17.
17 misses.
Oh, okay. So it just scrapes against your armor. Sing!
15. I'm just going to move there. Sorry, my roll 20 is having a moment.
Yeah.
All right. So this is 15, and then 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55. I got to move. 60. Now, where is the yellow thing? The orange thing?
It looks to be two of them back there.
Sorry, can you ping that again? I didn't.
Hold up. See what you can see at the moment. So they're actually just beyond your line of sight at the moment. Actually, they're
Okay.
still a little bit into the darkness of what you can see. You can see over to the sides there's a massive river below you with docks as well. There are massive statues that represent variations of what could be dwarves around here, sort of guarding the way, as well as the statues on the bridge with embedded arrows and ancient weapons lost into it. There was a fight here, a battle of some kind. But before you can even truly discern exactly what happens, you can see from the darkness more abandoned rushing towards you.
All right. So what I would like to do is I've got my bonus action for my spiritual weapon.
Oh.
This thing is glowing, right? The orange thing.
Yes.
So I should be able to see the glow, even if not anything else around it. How far
So-
away measurement am I from it?
65 feet.
65 feet. Okay. Then what I'll do first is I will just I can cast it within 60. So I will cast it right behind this guy. Do, 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 do. Here. And I will attack with it, the guy right in front of it.
Alrighty then, make an attack roll. As a hit, as the weapon comes into existence and smashes onto the abandoned as it's rushing forward. It continues to move forward along with its comrades. And you can see this is going to be a war of attrition unless something's done soon. More and more abandoned will come. How long will you guys be able to hold on? Will you guys be able to discover secrets inside this place? Exactly is the slithering stillness. We'll pick that up on the next session, guys.